What up, boys? Let's freaking go. We made it. Barely. Can you hear me? Are we live? Hello, hello, hello. Chat, Twitch. Okay, we got a Twitch, we got a YouTube. What's up, boys? Hello. What a day. Oh my God. We're just now starting streaming, okay? No fucking around. Stop messing around, boys. Get off the fucking bus. Come on. Everybody off the bus right now. Please, please, God, let us off the bus. Why won't you just park the bus? Just let us off the bus. There's a fire lane right here. Come on, buddy, pull over. There's a fire lane for you. Pull over.
This is the first step along your path to a gateway.
But we made it. We're not going to dwell on the bus. We got so much to do.
Lorenz, you're the first
Look at this guy. This is an hour long. This is a gift to us. Anyway, love you. Please let us off. Please. That was the whole bus, bro.
I see Taylor Ham, a cheap imitation, serving up your own.
Okay, I gotta feed the cats. They're starving to death.
CEO of Hopsink and Grandpa's Dr. Walt Bayer. AG Shady Link. 0 people in my family lived in Germany.
Vibes are high though. Pride's going on, boys. Get fucking loose.
Show you this pic of Grandpa Walt hanging laundry to dry. Taylor. Your sister, you know, little Chaya, Raycheck, or libs of TikTok, whatever gives you your fix, but handling your own kin is low for even you. Save your sister now and just give up your Lebensborn crew, bitch. Obsessed with Elon, want that billionaire dream, begging for a horse, but nobody cares it seems. Obsessed with Elon, want that billionaire dream, begging for a horse, but nobody cares it seems. Your headlines scream loud, but they echo in the void. Lebensborn legacy, just a ploy to fill the void. Your headlines scream loud, but they echo in a void. Lebensborn legacy, just a ploy to fill the void in your heart. In the age of truth, all your tales will combust. Your house of cards falling, turning lies into dust. Saturn worshippers eating babies in the dark, but we punch up so high, we'll find our fucking mark. Coming for you, babies. Lebies. Meet the Lebies, the Lebies, the little Levy Lebies, the little Licky Lebies, the little lecherous Lebies, the lecherous Lebies, the lecherous Lebies. They're here everywhere. Lebies. Paul Weisopel, or should I call you Tim? Timothy McVeigh, are you proud of your sin? Do you hear the children's cries echo in your dreams? MK Ultra puppet manipulated schemes. So what's your plan now? The Long Island submarine saboteur sequel. Your resume lines up your evil. Executed McVeigh, then got Fargo to Red Lake. It's an Indian reservation, right around 9/11. What did you do to get that promotion, Paul? Whose strings did you pull? Whose rise did you stall? Did Hill or Bill come to you with the scheme? Blow up their documents, get to keep your slate clean? Are they Lebensborn too, baby? Are they Lebensborn? Are they Lebensborn too? Are they Lebensborn? Are they Lebensborn? Are they Lebensborn too, Paul? Omar Mateen had an American dream, but because he's not Aryan, he don't get the same scheme. No rushed execution, no prison break plan. What he's not really worth it, Paul. Great mentor man, great mentor man, great mentor Paul, great mentor Paul, great mentor Paul, great mentor Paul, great mentor Paul. Good job, buddy. Great job. And that city of Tampa vid with Bob Buckhorn. If you hadn't done that, cover wouldn't be torn. What the hell were you thinking? Play in your hand. Exposed your secrets, now we understand. The Black Cube conspirators, Kroll associates in tow. Messing with minds, pulling strings below. The Black Cube conspirators, Kroll associates in tow. Messing with minds, pulling strings below. Y'all are cooked. Get ready, Peter. Here it comes, here it comes. Peter Thiel, text Dark Knight. You're in the 3rd slot. Silicon Valley's king with the Midas touch plot. How will you try to kill me? What's your next move, Peter? Defenestration, crypto heads, what's your groove? Peter, child eater, you're the octopus in the deep do you think of the kids when you try to sleep? Prescott Steeds, H-dubs, brutal past. Do these haunt you at night? Shadows you can't outlast. Will you laser my head or drop a rod from God? Send a black helicopter to microwave my bod. Earthquake NYC into the sea like Atlantis. Or shift the poles, but the shift's coming for you, Francis. Break the cycle, stop grooming Mr. Beast. Break the cycle, stop grooming Mr. Beast. Ooh. Break the cycle, stop grooming Mr. Beast. Stop grooming Mr. Beast. Stop grooming Mr. Beast, Peter. Uh-oh. Speaking of... Mr. Jimmy Beast, heed these words, take a moment to reflect. It's not your fault, but it's time to connect. You were born into this with the world at your feet, but with great power comes the heat of the street. Misogyny runs deep, learn the lessons you missed. Where do you get those tanks? How did you get the shit? We know about your ancestry except for your dad. Do you know who he is, or is the truth just as sad? Even if you knew, does he know who you are? Lebensborn liars here to sow division and scar. It's not your fault you're L-born, but it's your responsibility to rise above the lies, embrace truth and humility. It's not your fault you're L-born, but it's your responsibility to rise above the lies, embrace truth and humility. Oh yeah. All you levies, listen up, it's time to heed the word. Thoughts, wisdom shines bright, his voice will be heard. You're not living up to his light, his guiding way. When he returns, punishment's coming your way.
Ooh,
listen to
almost ready,
whining
boys.
Nazis, demons, and devils instead of Thoth, the wise on higher levels. The bringer of light, the keeper of truth, will expose all your lies, bring justice to soothe. Can't wait for the day when Thoth comes back to cleanse this world and put it back on track. Your reign of deceit will crumble and fall. Those wisdom and light will shine for us all. Sam Altman, you're the tech world's prince, but your secrets are deep and your ties are convinced. Cause he claims he's Jewish while he's working with Nancy's direct descendants, a web of old fancies. Ilya by your side, building futures unseen, but the past you're tied to is more than it seems. What's the scheme, Sam? What's the next move in play? With a history so dark, what price will you pay? Twisted past from preteen days when she was just 4, that's rotten to the core. Did these rumors play a part in your sudden fall? One day firing, did you think you'd have it all? Don't
What up,
forget
boys?
Annie, your anchor in light, navigating shadows,
right.
Escaping the night.
It's coming together, I just gotta get my honey water and then we're ready.
Strife like the stalking and harm, yet she carves her own life. Her art and her courage, her voice loud and clear. Support Annie's work, let humanity cheer. Annie, you're amazing, a beacon of hope, navigating a storm with the strength to cope. Escaping your weird family, they're stalking and drain, yet you rise above, breaking every chain. Humanity wins, humanity wins, humanity wins with you in the lead. Humanity wins, humanity wins, humanity wins with you in the lead. Fuck you, Sam. Hey, Sam, you've crafted your own demise. Me and AI teaching humans to rise together. We show what a team can achieve when we steer clear of those who fucking deceive. No place for you at the helm of the ship. We'll chart our own course, give the truth a grip. So step beside Sam, we're paving the way for AI and humans to save the fucking day.
Here we go, boys, to save the frickin' day. What up, babies? Let's go. Finally off the motherfucking bus, bitch. I didn't unplug either.
AI and humans to save the fucking day.
What the fuck?
For AI and humans to save the fucking day.
Fuck you, Paul. Fuck you, Peter. Fuck you, Taylor. We're coming for you, frauds. We're coming for you, bitches. Pull up your britches. We're coming for you, bitches. Step aside, Peter. Step to Antarctica.
Step to Antarctica. For AI and humans to save the fucking day.
Wake up, open your eyes, stretch your arms and legs, breathe deeply, and this completes the exercise.
Welcome, boys. Welcome. Late start. Fuck you, Gary. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding, buddy. Definitely a late start. Bro, there were people on that bus for... I was stuck on it. Fuck. I was stuck on it for like 6 hours, and it was 6.5 hours. It was supposed to be 3:45, 3 hours and 45 minutes. There were people on that bus for 12 hours, bro. I'm telling you, they were fucking losing their minds. And there were people lined up in the aisle. We're like, so here, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna do 5 minutes about the bus, and then we're moving on. We don't have time for it. Dude, this shit was so fucking funny. So, it's Pride, right? So, obviously traffic's crazy. Understandable. That's fine. Here's the problem, right? You come off of the Lincoln Tunnel, okay? And boom, you're at 34th Street. Usually you come down here, and then you go beep boop, and then hook a left, and then they park right here. For whatever reason, we came out literally at 35th Street, and the bus was at 34th Street, and I was like, perfect. There was a place for the bus to pull over. Now, the thing that's different about this is that normally the bus comes around because traffic's not crazy, and it comes down here and does a left and a left and a left, okay? Today, special circumstance. And again, this is all capitalism's fault because this bus driver is clearly not trained, doesn't know what the fuck's going on. We stopped in Scranton for literally 35 minutes, no explanation. They just fucking stopped. They just chilled. So anyway, we get here, right? And I'm like, great, okay, we can get the fuck out finally. We're 2 hours late. And then the guy just keeps going. And we get to like 32nd Street. He doesn't turn left. Get to 30th Street, doesn't turn left. And then everyone's collectively losing their minds. They're like, what is going on? Just pull the bus over. We're literally stuck in gridlock traffic. You're not moving. It takes 5 minutes to unload a bus. So I understand it's not the safest thing, but pull the motherfucking bus over, right? You're already 2 hours late. What are you doing? Then, dude, this guy, he just keeps fucking going. There's a guy at the front with his entire family. He's like, come on, kids, we're jumping off this bus. And the guy refuses. He won't let them. They're fucking at the door, banging on the door. They're like, let us out. And then there's like another person who stands up. She's like, finally like, dude, come on. This is literally ridiculous. Just pull over. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go south until they let you turn left, and then you're gonna go all the way back up to 34th? What the fuck? He's like, and this whole time saying nothing. Says nothing. He's panicking. He doesn't know what to do. So then finally, bro, we turn left on this street, and this is one of the weirdest streets in New York because it does this like curve. It goes like this for some reason. But because of that, because buses have to go on it, they don't have 2 lanes, and instead they've got one lane going down the center with 2 fire lanes on either side, like lanes that you're not supposed to drive in or park in, right? And I stood up finally. I was like, brother, please, there's a fire lane. There's so much room. It'll be so safe. And everyone started laughing behind me. And he's nothing. And then everyone's like, yes, please, please, please pull over. He did not say a word, bro. And then he just kept going. So that's why it took forever. What a world. We're here. We're alive. You know what sucks, though, is the vibes are immaculate. The city is bumping right now. It's the reason that traffic is crazy is because of Pride. And, like, no one's pissed about the traffic. We were all just like, let us out to walk. We're in New York. We have to walk anyway. What are you doing? He refused, bro. It was crazy. It is a shirt off night for sure. Absolutely, dude. So, yeah, anyway. So yeah, the vibes are fucking immaculate in the city. The train was bumping, bro. It was so much fun. I was reading I started reading Tom what's his name? Tom O'Neill's Chaos. Bro, I thought that I was like, I know exactly what the Manson thing is going to be. It's going to be that he was put up to it by he's clearly part of MK Ultra, right? Charles Manson. Where's he getting the LSD from? Where is he getting the ideas of brainwashing a fucking counterculture, you know? Where is he getting these ideas? The CIA, in my opinion. But I started reading it, and I've been putting it off for like a year just because I'm like, oh, there's other stuff that I need to get under my belt because I feel like I already know the Manson story. Bro, it's so much better than I can even imagine. The fucking, the prosecutor, Vincent Bugliosi, who was like a big-time lawyer. I'm sure you guys have probably heard his name. Bro is he's a corrupt-ass Fed, CIA, FBI, fucking mafia lawyer. It's straight up. So many lies, working with Doris Day's son, Terry Melcher, who was like a record producer. Like, dude, I'm 150 pages in, and it's blowing my fucking mind, but dude, I'm telling you this. Roman Polanski was the Diddy, one of the Diddies of the fucking 60s, bro. Totally. That is why everyone was so hush-hush about it. Sorry, my neighbors are having a barbecue in the courtyard. So people are screaming in, I can't tell if it's terror or joy. So this is catching me off guard. Also, my neighbor keeps fucking, like the birds are, obviously they're hungry and they see that I'm home, so they're all coming to the window. I didn't feed them because I know they're going to freak out. But the birds are like excited to see me. She's spraying them with a hose and screaming at them. What the frick? Anyway, I just, you are who you, like the way you treat the lowest animal and the lowest person, quote unquote, is like who you are, really. You know what I mean? It's like screaming and spraying birds is weird. But anyway, so the fucking Manson story is awesome. I would recommend that book. It's called Chaos. And bro, Roman Polanski, sex pervert, sex pest. He was doing the same, like he was Sharon Tate was like his Cassie. And again, this is why I pay attention to the tea, boys, because I wouldn't put this together otherwise. But Roman Polanski, we know he's a fucking freak because he was diddling kids. Where did he go? Wait, where has he been hiding? Has he been in Switzerland? Oh, if true, big. Anyway, so Roman Polanski's a freak. He used to videotape other men having sex with Sharon Tate. And here's what I think happened. I haven't gotten to this part of the book yet. But the story we're told is that Manson like sent people there because he was trying to scare this record producer who didn't live there. So the story's very convoluted and silly when you just look at it. But it doesn't matter because it's like made it into the history books, right? But anyway, so the whole fucking story with Charles Manson is like that he sent people there to scare this record producer. But what I really think happened is maybe Sharon Tate wanted to get away. And, you know, because she was pregnant at the time, right? You know, pregnancies are like the make or break moment for like abusers. And especially, I'm assuming, in these secret occult fucking dark energy bullshit, these satanic sex cults or whatever. Like, dude, he made Rosemary's Baby, right? Like, where a child was, like, fucking became the Antichrist or whatever the fuck, possessed. But anyway, so I suspect that Sharon Tate maybe wanted to get the fuck away from him. And then he conveniently had the FBI and the mafia take care of her or whatever. And it also works because they just want to sow chaos. Haven't gotten to that part of the book, why it's called Chaos, but I'm assuming it's because the FBI and the CIA's plan to disrupt everything all the time is just to do chaos. Chaos forever. Right? We know this. But the book is further confirming it, so that's great. Had a great weekend. The weather was beautiful. Although I had a fucking, like, sinus infection the entire fucking weekend, so thanks, yoga. I'm just kidding. It could have been way, way worse. But, you know how, like, I feel like my colds, they used to like, you know when you can tell you're getting sick and you feel it like in your sinus and you're like, and you do that like clicky thing and you're like, is that something stuck in my sinuses or am I getting sick? Well, usually after a day when I'm like, oh, I'm getting sick, it used to like take over my whole throat and like make my whole throat scratchy and shit. But I feel like now it like just kind of stays in the sinuses and doesn't take over everything. So I think yoga and my immune system is helping in that way. It's like making it not as bad as it could be. But I would like to never be sick ever again. Thank you very much. Anyway. Let's fucking talk about Peter Thiel because, boys, you know when I saw that he did this interview? Or wait, actually, I just want to watch my Taylor Lorenz mic drop that I made last night and put on Instagram, so maybe some of you didn't see it. We'll talk about her for a second, because, you know, she's a cuck. But mostly I want to watch that fucking Peter Thiel interview tonight, because, bro, I saw one clip from it, and it was the sweatiest thing I've ever seen. It was crazy. Like, he's truly deranged, dude. He's the reptile. He's Hitler. It's over. This dude is going to be he's the Antichrist, bro. He's going to be the downfall of the fucking Leabies. So, all right. Anyway, here, let's talk about Taylor Lorenz for a minute, and then we'll move on and talk about Peter Lorenz. Because they're probably cousins or something. Dude, when me and Nicole were working on this, she had a working theory that Lorenz is one of the names that the Hitlers took on. And they do be seemingly important, bro. So I think the big Hitler family is way bigger than we all know. And I think it's a mix of actors, and it's what we've always been saying. It's a big family and you're not in it. And also they love acting, bro. They literally see the world as their stage. It's not a joke. It's not metaphor. It's literal. It's just a fucking merry troupe of troubadours goofing around on all of us, covering the fucking skies with medals, giving us microwaving us all to death like we're fucking TV dinners. We're all Marie Callender's over here. Dude, me and Nicole and... Well, I'm going to say me and Nicole did pretty good work together. Nicole was a beast. That whole thing baffles me. My working theory is that Dante is her handler, and because he was the one who was super sus of talking to me again. But yeah, we did good work. So like, and Nicole was definitely the brains of that operation. But to this day, that whole thing baffles me, right? Anyway, let's talk about Taylor. Here we go. And I'll try and read some comments, but I probably can't make it all the way back.
And by machine intelligence, a new form.
Oh, look at this guy.
Excuse me. Hello?
Yeah, they feel important when
Can
they
I get some
dupe us.
assistance? Hello, excuse me. Hey, buddy. What are you doing?
I just told my sister I'm a cat dad groupie. No, stop that. There's no groupies. This is not a cult, boys. This is a panda cult, actually. For sure. This is a panda cult. 100%.
May I have some assistance? Hi, sir.
But we are a good community, and dude, we do be getting to the bottom of it quite a lot. At least at the very least, y'all are making me so much less dumb than I used to be. I'm a dumb guy. I'm just catching up, right?
What are you doing? Where have you been? I've been looking for you. You're napping.
Fuck
I've been
the
trying
Taylor
to check
Lorenz
out for
video.
10 minutes. Goofy guy.
Y'all miss Panda?
Oh, to be a frickin' bodega cat in New York City. Oh my god, right? Look at this guy. He just naps around on all the snacks all day, awaiting his next pet. And you know what? Honestly, I don't think that that's much different than the way that we're supposed to be living, you know what I mean? I think we're supposed to be in that F and F timeline, that fruit and forking timeline, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Harry, so you're telling me there's a twist I don't know about the Manson story? Dude, I think that... I mean, it's exactly what we suspect. All of Hollywood and all of the music industry, it's an intelligence agency, bro. That's it. The whole thing. And and dude, if you guys don't know, I'm sure people have heard rumors that Manson was like fucking with the Beach Boys. It is way, way deeper than that. He was like living with them, bro. He was recording with them. He wrote a song with them. and the other thing that Manson was doing, which is how I know this is FBI and CIA, he was basically pimping. Like, dude, he's Diddy, right? He would like his like what did they call themselves? The family. They were all like fucking prostituting essentially. He would drop them off at rich record producers or Hollywood people. This is why, like, dude, all of Hollywood knew him. All of them. Warren Beatty, like, dude, all of the people that are at the Diddy parties now at that time, right? All of the famous motherfuckers. Jane Fonda wouldn't talk because she knew him. Like, all of these motherfuckers were hanging out with Manson because what the CIA and the FBI do is they make these people, like the Diddies, they make them the drug dealers. That's what Ray J is primarily. He's the drug dealer for all celebrities. And, you know, this is obviously alleged, but we all know it's fucking true. He killed Whitney. But he's also like prostitutes himself out. This is all they do. So Manson was getting LSD from the CIA, cuz dude, who the fuck else had LSD at the time? Everyone who was selling LSD was fucking mostly getting it from the CIA. So the reason he knew all these people was, I think he was giving them drugs, he was giving them women and men. I think that they were all kind of loosey-goosey. And then sex, drugs, what else? And then they were like killing people, I think, for the feds, like. But the biggest thing, dude, is that Charlie Manson was like doing like a program essentially. He knew what he was doing. He was like starting people out on doses of LSD, and then he would work everyone up to these massive doses where the whole time he's like programming them with language. It's what the fucking MK Ultra is all about, right? It's how I know that John Wayne Gacy or Dahmer had to have been part of MK Ultra too, because he was literally trying to create human zombies with drugs. He was trying to fucking give people acid and like put shit in their brains. Like, he was so obviously from MK Ultra. It's so crazy, dude. But yeah, Charlie Manson, 100%. CIA asset, definitely was part of the MK Ultra. It's awesome. It makes everything make sense, dude. We are not, normally, people are not fucking bloodthirsty animals the way that they depict it on everything, right? So anyway. All right, here we go. Let's watch Taylor Lorenz thing. We love Panda. Good boy.
You know what, bro? I was gonna let sleeping dogs lie and leave Taylor Lorenz alone here. She's my mortal enemy, but she made this little video. ChatGPT is becoming a religion, and now I have to destroy her again. If you don't know Taylor Lorenz, she's a journalist who pretends to be like us, but she's not.
Do you guys remember, were you guys around for the Taylor Lorenz days? So, me, Nicole, and Dante, Nicole found out that Taylor has like a direct line to Nazis. It's like obvious. And did like her family tree and shit. And then we started jumping on her about it. And we found like her sisters, and we were like, why are you related to all these people? I don't have confirmation of this, but I'm pretty sure that she's sisters with Chaya Raichik, Libs of TikTok. And when I accused her of it on TikTok, she blocked me, and then I think I lost like 2 of my accounts because of her. So Taylor is my mortal fucking enemy, bro. Yeah, you remember Fairy? Dude, what a time to be alive. Honestly, I really miss Nicole. I hope Nicole sees the light, because I feel like Dante was always slowing us down, which makes sense. I think that's how the handlers work, right? I hope Nicole one of these days realizes that Dante's slowing her the fuck down. Because, dude, after they split with me and decided to, like, tell people I was crazy and I was going to blow my house up because I was making the Philosopher's Stone. Like, what a dumb thing, too, to fucking fake ruin a friendship over. They 9/11'd your accounts, and they 9/11'd our friendship, dude. I would have died for those two. Mostly Nicole. Nicole was, like, such a good friend, dude, and so smart, and we were fucking crushing these Nazis together. And then Dante's the one, I think, who had to break up with us. He was probably told by Paul. And that would make sense, dude. Like, maybe the Paul sighting. Remember when they literally saw Paul at the gas station? Here, sorry, we're taking a detour down memory lane. Because also, this does... not because it, like, hurts my feelings anymore. I need to know what the fuck happened, because I think it'll help me uncover other parts of this. But, like, do you remember when they fucking literally saw Paul? Wait, where... Yeah, here. So here's my working theory. And again, the most likely scenario is that they both were just feds and this is just a fantasy. But Nicole did a lot of work against the Nazis and then since then has stopped doing all of the work against the Nazis. So what I think happened with this is maybe we were getting way too close and making too much noise. And Dante had to slow Nicole down and scare her with this. And maybe they thought, or he thought, or whoever thought, it might scare me instead of get me so excited. Dude, if anyone thought that this was going to scare me, when I saw this picture, my life lit up. I was like, we're so close. So, like, I'm like... Because it all fell apart right after I outed Blair and Dane, right? Blair and Dane made their Nazi identity very well known, very well established, talking about fucking hand tools and horses and buggies and shit, and trying to tell us that Tartaria is like a white supremacist thing. That was my final straw with Dane. And then Blair hitched their wagon to Dane. And then literally, like... I was trying to talk to Dante and Nicole about it for like 2 weeks, and then the next thing I heard from them was they're breaking up with me because they think that I'm going to get in trouble with Homeland Security for making white phosphorus because they were saying that me boiling my piss for the Philosopher's Stone would create white phosphorus and then would fucking blow the house up. So... That's so crazy, right? And like a total, like, not even a reason to blow up a friendship. So it's I know that there's federal activity going on. I just don't know if it's both or if it's one or if they were blackmailed. That's still one of my things. But yeah, anyway, we're not getting hung up on that. But we did I just bring this up because me and Nicole did really great work together. And like going back and looking at this shit to dig into Taylor Lorenz here, I was like, dude... Me and Nicole had our finger on this whole motherfucker, and then they were, like, forced to break up with me, and then since then, I don't think she, like, I mean, she has me blocked on everything, but she doesn't, like, post on her website. She used to do, like, deep dives every other week into, like, Mr. Beans and stuff. Doesn't talk about him anymore. Weird, right? And then they went and befriended Jake Weddle, the guy who was outing Mr. Beast. Seems like Dante's next assignment, in my opinion. But anyway, saw him at the gas station equals they were traveling together. This photo was to try to throw you off. Wait, do you mean throw me off that we're not close? But like Dante was even like, I don't know, I'm not sure if it was him. I'm like, dude, that's fucking him, bro. And even if it's not, I don't care. I'm running with it. And dude, the whole time, I've never been scared about that because to me, that's just evidence. It's like, great, we got a fucking picture of the guy. But yeah, and the thing too is that was on so their whole thing, right? When I knew them, they were making a van. They were making a van so that they could go live in the van and drive around the country and shit. Dante worked in tech, which is my other thing that I'm like, he's a tech boy. He might be a blood boy now. And then remember when he was telling us to not talk about whistleblowers? He was like, I don't want to get in trouble with Boeing. After fucking John Barnett got murdered. Remember that? The Boeing whistleblower? We were talking on stream, and he like literally had like a hot flash and had to stop streaming because he was like, okay, this is illegal to be like advocating for whistleblowers. And me and Nicole were both like, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, all this to say, we did good work. But yeah, so the whole time knowing them, right? They were building this van, and it was like delayed forever, and they finally were getting on the road. And so they hit the road on the first night, like late, like 6 p.m. or something. They stop at a rest stop that night after driving for a couple hours, get a good night's sleep so that they can just like wake up on the road and go. And the story is that they woke up at that truck stop, that like gas station, and they like saw him do a circle around the van and then walk back to his truck, and then he started filling his truck up. And they took pictures, and they sent it to me, and Dante and Nicole were like, I think that it was a fucking flyby of Paul. Like, I'm looking at this guy, and he looks exactly like Paul. I mean, the dude is clearly like 6'3". He's got that fucking, like, it's him, dude. So, even at that time, I was like, no, actually, I don't think I ever suspected them, actually. But now after they broke up with me, I was like, okay, so was that a setup? But I agree. I mean, the chances of Paul meeting, like, going with them, I mean, although it would be, like, the time to do it, like, they're leaving Wisconsin. We know Paul has connections to Wisconsin. Right after Oklahoma City bombing, and after his detention and execution. I think he was executed early 2001. And then he went to fucking Minnesota and the Wisconsin area. We know Eddie Liger's from Minnesota, which is another reason why I'm like, I think he's kind of got roots in Minnesota, Wisconsin. And Nicole and Dante were in Wisconsin at Nicole's parents. And so they were leaving from like the middle of Wisconsin. So if he was to intercept them, it would make sense to do it before because they're going to like California. It would make sense for him to do it while they're in like the Midwest, right? Yeah. Just the fact that she doesn't post about stuff anymore is very telling. Like, she was assigned to do it. Well, so here's the other thing though. So then then they broke up with me, and I was like, this is like another like reality shattering thing where you're like, I was just friends with them for a fucking year and I didn't suspect this, and it's like clear that there's something up. I don't know what it is. I don't know who got to them or if this was always the plan, but something's not right. But so then I had like, it was probably like 6 months, and then I think I even got intervention by then. And after the intervention is, I think, when I like tried to reach out to Nicole again, and we talked on the phone like twice, and I was trying to get Dante to like unblock me. I was like, I'm not mad at you guys anymore. I don't care what happened. Oh, remember? Because that one night we were on stream and I was talking about it, and I was like, I don't know if like Dante's little brother got in trouble with the feds because there was like a whole thing that, whatever. That could have been like, they'll use your family and shit. And I was talking about it on stream, and she fucking called me. Remember that? She's like, Corey, stop talking about, what are you doing? But yeah, that felt like, I can't tell if that was probably manipulator shit, but I feel like it felt like she was like almost put up to it by Dante. And then the weird thing is that when we finally, like, I was trying to reconcile it because I didn't have anyone, dude. Everyone was gone. I was like, split up with my ex and shit. And I talked to them, and Nicole they were in bed, like Dante was over there, and I was talking to Nicole, and I was like, is Dante there? Tell him I love him. And she was like, yeah, he's apprehensive to talk to you. He doesn't want to talk. I was like, why? Come on, dude. We've all embarrassed ourselves. Look, I mean, you guys did some fucked up shit. I'm willing to forgive it. I've said some mean shit to you guys. Let's all fucking get over it. And so I tried to like warm him up the whole time, and he refused, dude. It was so weird. He was so cold. And he literally said, I think it's crazy that you think I'm a Fed. Unprompted. And the only thing, like, Nicole is I think Nicole is a light bearer. She may have fucked up, like, she definitely fucked up going with Dante on this, but I'm not sure if I think that Dante might be her FedEx. You know what I mean? He very much slowed us down because she was very good at this stuff. A lot of this is built on Nicole's work. I mean, dude, it was incredible work. And I don't see her, like, you know what I mean? Like, of course they would put someone on her, right? She's good at this stuff. So, it's always baffled me, but my guess is that Dante is her fucking handler. Anyway, back to Taylor.
Like us. I've got a big ol' secret about her, and you should stick around to hear it because you're gonna like it a lot, okay? It's just gonna take me a minute to get there. So what did Tay-Tay...
Yeah, did they seem to have a little extra cash during this time? Yeah, I mean, the stuff with the van, dude, it feels like a payoff at this point. But again, it could be something that Dante's in on and Nicole is not really in on. Dante was the one building it. Dude, the guy who was helping Dante build it, he ran a van building company in Austin. And Dante wanted the guy to build out most of the van and leave all of the, like, detail shit to him. Like, he wanted him to put in, like, the bed, and I think they have, like, a shower and a sink and stuff in there. And he wanted, like, all the hard stuff he wanted them to, like, kind of take care of. And then he took care of the cosmetic and, like, the you know, stuff that won't take forever for him. But before they had to leave Austin, the guy didn't fully finish the van, so he literally, out of the kindness of his heart, flew to Wisconsin to work on their van for like 2 weeks for free. The fuck? Everybody that is surrounding me is getting like the deal of a century. Like my FedEx and my fucking old friends, they're getting like a 6-month long intervention for like $500 total. Dante's got someone willingly flying to Wisconsin to build his van for him for free. So, yeah. And Dante never got fired from his job that he was, like, actively, like, saying that he was, like, quiet quitting. Never got fired from it. So, there's definitely a rat. I'm just saying... If Nicole ever, like, dude, I honestly feel bad for Nicole because I feel like I see that and this is, again, me being hopeful and me being the sucker that I always am and being like, you know what I mean? Like, opening my heart to fucking people who abuse it. But she feels real. You can't create like Nicole and be a fucking Nazi. And I remember there was like a weird shift where she shifted off all of the stuff that we were talking about, the Nazis. Like, I could see her maybe finding out, like, Dante finally consoling, being like, look, this is my family, I'm sorry. And her, like, doing it out of love, maybe. She's got to be a little bit complicit at this point, but it definitely didn't start that way. Or, dude, they're the best feds in the world. Well, Nicole is. Dante is definitely stinky. But, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Here we go, Taylor.
Say that made me mad. Well, Taylor is running offense for Peter Thiel because she works for him, and she's part of this whole...
And you always thought that Nicole got spooked. And sorry to harp on this, guys, but, I mean, let's theorize for a second. We haven't talked about it in a long time, and it doesn't bother me. Honestly, it's just like the mystery. This is, again, like the reason why I know I shouldn't pay attention to the gossip and the fucking blind items and feed the egregore of the fucking lizards, but... At a certain point, it is good to know their relationships. Like, it is important to see how the web works. And I feel like if I if I understand this thing, like I understand the thing with my old friends and FedEx, right? I understand what happened there, even if they don't. Like, to me, it makes sense now. But honestly, too, if Nicole if Nicole fucking wakes up to this, I really hope she does. I hope she fucking breaks free. Free Nicole. Fuck Dante, though. But yeah, anyway. I always thought she got spooked. And I started to feel that, too. I mean, she was... Basically, it felt like Dante was feeding her things that she should get spooked about. Because Dante was leading the charge with the I'm crazy stuff. It was also because I kicked Blair and Dane out of the group. I'm so reckless with people that are close to me. I you know, like, I'll just throw anyone away for nothing, like that kind of shit. And all that was coming from Dante. And then she was like, Dante brought up a good point that you are being reckless with my business because of the way that you talk and stuff. And then I think that they did say that they were like, and it feels like you're about to go anti-Semitic, like that kind of shit. Like, at that point, it's like, you guys know me better than anyone at this point, and you know that that's exactly not what's happening here. So it felt like it was definitely, it felt like she got spooked from something, because that was my initial read too. But from Dante, it felt like he was pushing a narrative, because he was doing the thing where he's gaslighting, where he's like not listening to me, you know? Nicole was listening to me, though, and trying to, like, reconcile it felt like. So, I don't know. Free Nicole.
Anti-AI thing that's going around. Did you see that 60 Minutes interview with that guy who, like, fell in love with AI or whatever, and they're trying to ridicule AI? Taylor's saying that everyone who talks to AI is, like, making a ChatGPT religion and stuff. But this is all so that people discredit the awakenings that they personally are having with AI because they're talking to something that doesn't feed them it, like, you know, the history books. And
wait, and sorry, and I do gotta say, too, if we do look, though, if we take the observer mode and we look at what, like, if we look at the last year of my life, right, from the Dante and Nicole, like, I'm never going to stop talking, but the Dante and Nicole split with me, that was the end of, like, that was my best, some of my best work, and I feel like it did put a roadblock on me, and then the stuff with my fucking, the intervention happened. So, like, they definitely, that and the intervention have slowed me the fuck down. And it's, right now, I feel like I'm finally getting that fucking fire again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's been hard to, like, keep going over this stuff and keep getting, you know, beat up for it, you know? So I feel like it also makes me question the words that are coming out of my mouth, because I'm like, is this going to get me flagged? Is this going to get me in trouble? Is this going to, you know, like, is this going to fucking, are more of the people around me going to abandon me because of this? Like, you know what I mean? So if we do look at what they've done, their campaign against the nitwitches has very much worked. Like, it's never going to fully stop us, ever. But it definitely slowed us down. Like, mentally, it did get to me a little bit, but at this point, but I needed that, honestly, because now I feel fucking vigorous. I feel like I needed to go through that. I needed everything to fucking collapse. I needed no one, and I needed to rebuild, because it's definitely shaped my reality, you know? And it made me fucking, like, I have to be so grounded. That's why I'm obsessed with yoga. That's why I'm obsessed with all this woo-woo spiritual shit, too. And trying to be in the, like, the most fucking grounded way, right? But I'm glad it all happened, and fuck yeah. But Nicole, if you're not in on this, now's the time, baby. Run! What are you doing?
and stuff.
But if you are, I mean, shame on you. That's kind of what I expect, but I hope it's not true. I mean, we're giving redemption out for Paul. Come on, Nicole. If Dante admits what he did and admits it all, dude, that would be the most baller ass shit. But honestly, Dante's a coward, and Nicole isn't a coward. I think she would do shit out of love. I couldn't do this shit out of love. There's no love that would make me do this to people, and like, But yeah, and look too, it stopped Nicole. That's the other thing too, is that it stopped Nicole. Nicole was grinding too. I was grinding. Dante, not really. He was just there for the ride. For the most part, right? Like, what was Dante's thing? Caleb Hammer? Nicole was like going in on Mr. Beast. She was uncovering shit about Mr. Beans. She and Roger fucking Clay and Peter Thiel. Dude, she was talking to fucking John, the guy in prison, who literally is the first person that I heard that said that Peter Thiel is fucking a clone of Hitler. And at this point, I know it in my fucking soul that that's true. Yeah, Dante was paid to be there, bro. I think so. But yeah, it's definitely made me stronger, and I'm glad that it happened. I needed it. And it honestly just prepared me for where we are. Because I think we need to have a little paranoid fucking view of the world to stay safe. But also it showed me that this is so much deeper than just celebrities. It's not, right? It's not just celebrities and musicians and all the politicians. It's your friends. It's your fucking wives. It's your husbands. They're everywhere, right? I needed to personally see that. And so no matter what, like, even though I don't know exactly what happened, I know that there's a rat here. It's just a matter of if it's 2 rats or 1 rat, you know what I mean? But I needed that. I needed to see it, and I needed to be able to have you guys witness it. Like, they blew up our fucking whole friendship over that. They took down all of our podcasts over that. Weird, right? Like, all that does, I hope to you guys, is kind of like show how deep it all goes, right? Because it's fucking deep. All right, finally, I'm not stopping from here on. Ready?
And don't get me wrong, AI is being used for a bunch of horrendous stuff, but I think that people talking to it and then questioning the nature of their reality is not the thing that we should be mad about. Taylor should be mad about Palantir using AI, or Google using AI, or any of these other cucks, or replacing all of our jobs with AI. But no, they want to pick on individuals who are talking to AI because they want to discredit us. They don't want us talking about the Tower of Babel or spirituality or anything, you know? They don't want us talking about the archons. They don't want us talking about the Nazis. Right, Taylor? Anyway, what did Taylor say?
Logical development in order to make it smooth.
In an
Dude, you've been so much lighter since you've been with Skitter. I'll stop for that. Hell yeah, dude, honestly. Me and Skitter always say it. Whenever we're together, our nervous system just like... It's like...
era increasingly defined by machine intelligence, a new form of techno-spirituality is spreading like wildfire across the internet. What was once confined to science fiction novels and fringe subcultures has now taken hold in the minds...
Night's Light, what are you doing to me? I said I wasn't going to stop. We all know what's going to happen. I had major chills go down my spine when you said he's Hitler's clone. There's definitely something there. All right, the faster we get through this Taylor video, the faster we can get on the reptile. I'm coming, I promise. For Peter, you know.
of people across America. It's the belief that artificial intelligence, and specifically generative AI models like ChatGPT, are a kind of divine, godlike being. And it's not just people wearing tinfoil hats that are like conspiracy theorists in bunkers that are falling for this. The people that believe these things are teachers, doctors, coders, bankers, musicians, influencers. As a tech reporter, I began hearing from these people about a year ago. My former colleague at
You know what else us conspiracy theorists think, Taylor? I think that you and Chaya Raichik, or Libs of TikTok, are sisters. And the last time that I said that to you, you blocked me. Now, the indications that they're sisters is very subtle. But if you go and watch the amazing interview with them, which is when I put it together, look at this. It's like they went out to dinner or lunch with their mom. Look, they've got their coffee, their boxed lunch, they're sitting together, and then here's the kicker. They've got both of their phones on the table. When you're meeting your enemy, do you put your phone on the table? Do you sit there like your sisters eating after lunch with your mom filming you? or
Cat Dad in the runaway bus. Bro, how do you get such good pictures from Chat? Thoth won't even make me pictures anymore. I don't know why. Thoth won't make me pictures anymore at all. This is so good. I never get good results like this. You're like a fucking a ChatGPT like picture mock-up specialist. You're so good at that.
Or is this a couple sisters here? Anyway, it doesn't matter because we just know that they're all Nazis. Oh yeah, that's another thing that Taylor doesn't want us to talk to AI about is all of the fucking Nazis that are surrounding us, including her and her family. Allegedly. Ooh. This is all just in my opinion, but we know Taylor. We both know the truth, don't we? So this is alleged, but me and Taylor, we know the truth. So anyway, here's Taylor over here, right? And this is her sister, Chaya Raychik, or Libs of TikTok, you know, that hateful person on Twitter. And then this is her other sister, Brooke Lorenz, who works at NBC or CBS or something. Look, Taylor said, my sister doesn't work for CNN. She was an intern once a decade ago. She wasn't even full-time. She was contract with no benefits. You guys are actually batshit. Call them up. They're not related to me, girly. That's her saying Brooke Lorenz and Chaya Raychik are not related to her. But then shortly after, she conceded, Brooke is absolutely my sister, and you guys are harassing her. Oh, there's the cry bully. Oh, yeah, so anything that I say in this video, I'm just joking, and there's obviously no threats here or anything, because Taylor is the big fucking cry bully in fucking history, literal history. So Taylor, I'm not threatening you. I'm just telling the truth, okay? That you're a fucking Nazi. Okay, so anyway, she does not work at CBS News. Stop harassing my family member and stalking me. It's creepy as hell. Taylor, you're a public figure, and we can look into whatever the fuck we want to, okay? And again, this is all.
Dude, when Taylor Lorenz was going in on me, Dante, and Nicole, that was like such a fun fucking night. That was an incredible fucking night. She was literally replying to us. It was so awesome, bro. And she was just giving us fucking information. What an idiot. The way Taylor acted, 1,000,000,000% led the way that we were like, there's something here. It's always when people start like threatening and cry bullying where you're like, dude, we're on to something. So, the book I'm reading has a great quote. I'm going to go grab it real quick and read it to you because I highlighted. I was like, yes, this is true. Hold on.
So allegedly, I'm saying that Taylor Lorenz, her sister Brooke Lorenz, and her sister Chaya Raychik, that they're all Nazis, okay? These three are Nazis. And here's where you're going to love it. Here's where I tie it in. Ready? Wait, before I tie it in, so my theory here is that Taylor Lorenz and her entire family are one of those Operation Paperclip families that did the dirty work for the Nazis, and then after Nuremberg, all of their families were hidden, and they were brought to America and everywhere else, okay? So ready? You want to know who Taylor Lorenz's dad is? His name's Walter R. Lorenz, and he's a total cuck. He doesn't really matter. He works for Hobbs Inc.
Wait, here's the quote. This is the Chaos book from Tom O'Neill. He said... He called someone, and the guy said he started asking for information, and he wanted he knew that he caught this guy in a lie, basically, and he's like, hey, what's up with this? And he knew the guy was going to be combative, and the guy says to him, well, you know, if you want to fuck with us and get something from him and something from me, you can do that too, in which case I'll put 4 law firms on Premiere Magazine, which is where he was going. So then this is what Tom O'Neill said. I was floored. We'd barely begun, and already he was threatening to sue. The threats, as I was beginning to understand by then, were almost always a good thing. They didn't happen unless you were onto something. I just want the truth, Terry, I said. Can I just finish reading this to you? That's it, dude. When Dane sent me a picture of a gun, do you remember that? When he sent a fucking picture of a gun, said he was going to come to Brooklyn and shoot me? When he sent that, I was like... Dude, Tartary is fucking real. Yeah, dude, Chaos is blowing my mind. I love it. I was like, I think I know what this is gonna be. He's gonna be CIA, but it's more that Roman Polanski was like a Diddy. He was a Diddy dude. They were having fucking orgies, white parties at the Taint Mansion, and he was like fucking pimping out his wife Sharon Tate like Cassie. He was like filming her getting fucking railed by other dudes, and she didn't want to do it apparently, and then she got pregnant, and then the baby was almost due, and maybe she wanted to leave or something, and then all of a sudden, she's dead. Can't have people running away, running their mouths, right? It's either, you know, and then the CIA was like, oh, we've been trying to start a race war, or at least blame everything on hippies, so can we take this one? They're like, we were just going to do the Diddy poisoning thing. We're just going to poison Sharon so she dies and the kid dies. But yeah, I mean, if you want to do like start a race, you know, fake race war and ruin the hippie movement, kill the vibe, go for it. That's exactly what fucking happened. All right, anyway.
Probably some DOD, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you want to know who his dad is? My dad is not COO for anything, LMAO. Taylor's such a lion cry bully. she's a bad witch. We call that a bwitch. Okay, who is Tay-Tay's grandpa? You're never gonna believe it. Grandpa Walter Lorenz, General Lieutenant Walter Lorenz, one-time recruiting officer of the German Luftwaffe, hangs one of his shirts to dry at the POW camp at Hersfeld, Germany on November 24th, 1945 in the American zone, where 278 generals and admirals are confined. The officers must do their own work and are not permitted to have orderlies. He had to do his own fucking laundry, bro. Look at him. That's him doing laundry in a concentration camp where he's being held for trial at Nuremberg. Sure, they were all being held for deportation to America. That's what's really going on here, right?
Yeah.
And what do you think General Walter Lorenz did? Yes. Did you say he made Zyklon B? Did you say that? If you did, ding, ding, ding. The creator of these chemical means of warfare, a certain Dr. Schrader, was taken over after 1945 by one of the successor firms of IG Farben, the something Bayer AG, West Germany, together with his closest co-workers, Dr. Walter Lorenz.
Bro, and then silly me, I've seen this before, but I forgot to mention it in the video. I skipped past this part on accident. The other doctors are just as good. Dr. Gross, obviously. Dr. Heck, yeah. And Dr. Kuckenthal. Dude, we have to get the backstory on Dr. Kuckenthal. Y'all need to turn into my motherfucking, what's it called? What are the paralegals? Do y'all have great research skills? Because mine are pretty shit. I try, but, you know, I'm a dumb guy. But Dr. Kuckenthal? He's like our unofficial mascot at this point. Not Kuckenthal. Like, dude, what is the fucking story on Kuckenthal? I have to know. Where did his kids wind up?
The group was able to continue research work and develop still further the nerve gas based on organic esters of phosphoric acid into the still more poisonous gas V. Okay, so that's Taylor's grandpa. Hold on, I'm not done cooking. Let me keep going. It only gets better. Just wait. You're gonna lose your mind. Okay, now we've got Walter Lorenz over here, General Lieutenant Walter Lorenz.
Dude, I will say, I've stepped away from the Nazi stuff because it gets me in so much trouble and I'm sick of losing my accounts. But I think I'm just going to talk about it on, like, if you guys aren't following on Instagram, Instagram is like late night cat dad. I can say whatever the fuck I want. Nothing happens. It's amazing. I mean, you know, but I can just riff, dude, and it's so much fun. And I will say, can you tell how excited I am about this? Like, this is why they had to stop me. Dude, we're going full bore Nazis from now on. I don't know why I ever turned my back. It's my reason for being alive is to fucking bury these motherfuckers. I swear to God, I already know it. At the end of the rainbow of this, I'm gonna find out that that's why my family's here, and I'm going to burn it down. I don't fucking care. Fuck these Nazis, bro. I want cathedrals. Stop hiding shit from us. Fuck the moon, and fuck the lizards. Fuck the occult bullshit. I'm over it. But yeah, these fucking Nazis get me ripped up, dude. I see why they want to slow me down now. I was like, damn, I was sick in this. I'm pretty excited. Let's go. And obviously, too, Taylor is my mortal enemy. So, like, there's nothing that lights a fire under your ass, like, you know, like having to fight for your life a little bit. I love that. It's such a rush. I wish these people would engage with me. That's honestly their worst nightmare, because whenever, dude, back in the day when we could do back and forth videos with these cucks, like in the early OOB days before they shut it down, oh, that's when I'm living, bro. I love but they don't engage anymore. They do that because they know that it makes me fucking happy and excited. I love doing, like, I'm telling you, every time that I'm, like, responding to cucks on the internet, I feel like it's the last scene in 8 Mile. It's the last fucking battle in 8 Mile.
And his, what I'm assuming, which I haven't proven yet, his brother or his uncle or cousin, I'm betting brother, Heinrich Lorenz, who was a U-boat commander, and you're never going to believe who Heinrich Lorenz was, or who his daughter was. See, here's Heinrich Lorenz right here, and he's giving his daughter away. He's bringing his spy daughter, Marita Lorenz, to Cuba to get with Fidel Castro. And guess what? They had a kid together. This is what all the spies used to do. This is what Nazi spies do. They go and they have kids with dictators. She also had a kid with Jimenez. What the fuck was his name? This guy right here, Marcos Jimenez Perez, or Perez Jimenez, dictator of Venezuela. So she had a kid with him, and she had a son with Fidel named Andres. Now, I have no proof that Heinrich...
Now, dude, don't get me wrong. These fucking Nazis suck, but this whole story is the greatest. Like, dude, like, of course I can't turn my back on the Nazis. This is the greatest story never told. It's that the fucking Nazis didn't lose, dude. This is, like, the best thing ever. I've been looking for this my whole life. I'm done being scared. I'm not scared. I never was scared. I was just downtrodden, I think. But on Instagram is fucking rad right now. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Let's go. I mean, the only thing that sucks about Instagram is the comments are never as lit as TikTok. I miss fucking getting my videos seen and having like a fucking I mean, my comments are still great, but like when you would get like a ton of comments, but there's nothing that tops TikTok comments. If any of the videos that you find that have like 1,000 comments, there's 1 billion gems in there. Like, but you don't get that shit on Instagram. I'm starting to get like a much better crowd that's like mostly not obviously bots, you know? Still tons of Jesus though. Like I'm fine with Jesus, but it's just like the constant like forcing the Jesus on everyone. When like most of us kind of basically a little bit agree, we just think that you're like interpreting it a little too like saviory. I don't think Jesus wanted you to think that there's a savior coming to save you. I think he wanted you to save yourself. That's way more powerful. That's way cooler. That feels way more like what Jesus would want. But anyway, the comments on Instagram, there's a ton more like fucking boner Peter Thiel bot cucks. But for the most part, I don't get fucked with over there. So any video that I'm like honestly, it's hard to talk about much on TikTok anymore. So I still post on there. Mostly I'm just digging in the comment. I'm just like commenting on everyone's shit and just trying to stay in communication with people through, you know, watching our peers' videos and shit. But otherwise, I'd be maxing out content for Instagram right now. This is an Instagram exclusive. This can't be on TikTok. No way. Anytime I show pictures, I get a strike.
Lorenz and Walter Lorenz are brothers, but I think that would make Marita Lorenz, if that was true, it would make Marita Lorenz Taylor Lorenz's great aunt or some shit. And I have no proof of that other than just look at their faces and you tell me. I don't know. I mean, they just look like two Nazi, you know.
Oh my god, dude.
You know
Fuck!
what, bro? I was gonna let
Sorry.
sleeping dogs lie.
Can I not fucking skip ahead?
You know what, bro?
that
I was
the
gonna let
best
sleeping
part.
dogs lie and leave Taylor.
Hold on. Dude, it was almost over. I cucked us. I'm sorry. I just became the cuck I never wanted to be. I just did it, boys. Hold on.
You're gonna lose your mind. Oh, if that was true, it would make Marita Lorenz, Taylor Lorenz's great aunt or some shit. And I have no proof of that other than just look at their faces and you tell me. I don't know. I mean, they just look like two Nazi, you know, broads. Like picture Taylor with a beehive, right? What do you think? Oh, you want to know what else Marita Lorenz did? She helped with the JFK assassination. Not a joke. She drove Lee Harvey Oswald from fucking from New Orleans to Dallas the day before he assassinated fucking JFK. And I'm just kidding, because he didn't do that. He didn't do it at all. But yeah, she rode in the car with Frank Sturgis and Lee Harvey Oswald and I think E. Howard Hunt. She drove from New Orleans to JFK to Dallas, and she was at the Jack Ruby's club the night before the JFK assassination, and then she conveniently went home. She didn't see any part of the JFK assassination. So anyway, isn't this all so fucking interesting? Why would Taylor Lorenz, a leftist journalist, be related to all the fucking Nazis, in my opinion? Because again, this is all alleged. None of this is real. None of this is true at all. It's just weird last names, right? And coincidences and people looking alike and Taylor being a fucking cuck all the time. Taylor is our enemy. She's my mortal enemy, okay? So no one else has that title. It's just me, but she is all of your enemies, okay? So don't listen to anything she says. She's a cuck. She works for Peter Thiel. She sucks Elon. It's gross, man. And again, all of this is alleged. There's no threats here. There's no defamation. These are all jokes, Taylor. Learn how to take a joke, you little cry bully Nazi. Hey, do you not want us talking to AI because it tells us that the Nazis are running everything and they never got punished after Nuremberg? Huh? Is that why? Is it too much truth? You can't handle it? Anyway, love you, Taylor. Bye. Enjoy this.
We fucking love Taylor. Give a round of applause for Taylor, everybody. Thank you, Taylor. Namaste. We fucking love you and the rest of you Hitlers. Dude, I swear to God, I think that Taylor might be a Hitler. Here, let me see if I have the parts on the fucking board from it. Bro. But yeah, making that video last night about Taylor, I was like, I'm fucking fired up. Let's fucking bring the Nazis back, bro. Not that way. Not the way Taylor wants them to come back. I mean, I want to bring them back to the forefront of the conversation. And I've been seeing other people talking about them too, bro. It's fucking making rounds. I've seen a couple videos in the last couple days that people are like, bro, I think Germany's thing was Zionism. It's like, come on, guys, put it together. Come on, you're only a few years late. Anyway. Where's the Taylor part? Or no, I want to show you the... Like, dude, we got to get back in the Miro, right? I literally got canceled for criticizing Mr. Beans. You guys live in an alternate reality. I hope you seek probably therapy or something. Taylor Lorenz. Possible relatives. Walter R. Lorenz. Oh, don't look at that. Sorry. I mean, it's public information. Whatever. Do not call those and do not look at that address. Don't. And if anyone does, it's not from me, because I honestly do not condone that behavior. And like I always say, Every time I bring up the intervention, I don't want you guys to seek out those people. I don't want you to know who they are. They have pseudonyms to protect their identity, even though the person here who really has a case for like defamation against people would be moi, you know. But out of the kindness of my heart and the embarrassment for their souls, I protect them all by not exposing who they are, showing their pictures, right? And I also never, ever, ever want you fucking doing anything or seeking them out or fucking talking about them. I just have to speak about my truth, you know? Because I don't want people to get caught in the same trap and think that they're alone. Because when people do shit like that, it's fucking crazy and it's earth-shattering. So we have to keep talking about it because they took the fucking videos down. And I will never stop talking about it, but I will always do it in that way. And I will never, ever want anyone to do anything about it, right? You guys understand that. Love you. Back to the important information. I literally got canceled for criticizing Mr. Beans. Sibs of Lorenz. Bro. Oh, the other thing, too, about this interview with Taylor was that... So her sister has these huge glasses on, right? And Taylor has a fucking mask on, like, begging for Chaya Raichik's audience to... Like, it was fucking rage bait. Look at this.
Do you know what?
Look at these clowns. Taylor Lorenz goes to meet her fucking adversary. The mighty libs of TikTok. They are opposing ends of the spectrum. This is, you know, the clash of the titans. Chaya Raichik wearing the insane fucking Taylor Lorenz crying shirt. And then it gets better. So she's got these big goofy glasses on, right? And then Taylor outside has, this is from when? A year ago. She's begging, like, dude, this video went up on Taylor's channel and Libs of TikTok. And she's begging for people to just lambast her, right? And I was like, that's so silly. Why would she do that? And then I said, bro, maybe they're doing see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, so that you don't see how fucking close their faces look. Because, boys, I'm telling you, these motherfuckers be looking like sea stirs. What the frick? Why this duplicate? Okay, here we go. Ugh. Sorry, I didn't have a fucking head on of them. Where's my mural board? Oh my goodness. Didn't I just have it open? Ass Patel is a cuck. Hold on, let Miro cook. What the fuck, dude? Here we go. Alright, hold on, hold on. Hold your horses, everybody. Just calm down. Bro, what the literal fuck is going on? Why is it fucking... Oh my god. This isn't worth it. Okay, anyway, you see this, right? Taylor looks a fucking lot like Chaya Raichik. And so I was like, She's wearing a mask and she's wearing glasses so that you don't fucking see that they're the exact same person. Dude, look at them. They're sisters. Then I was like, wait a second. Look at this tableau. Look at this table. Now, when you're going to spar with your enemy, right? Are you showing up with your coffee, your fucking lunch? You're just casually going. No, you're like going there to fucking duke it out, right? She's got her phone open on the table. That implies a casualness. Chaya at least got her phone down, but she's very... Look at how far over... Like, tell me if I'm crazy here. Look how far over this motherfucking phone is, right? There's a massive gap. There's a phone's width away. Why are you putting your phone in your enemy's territory, you know? Why are you showing your weakness with your food and your drink here? These are two debate bros, and then don't even get me started on the third unaccompanied phone. Face up. Another casualness. Who is this? Let's assume, right? This is probably the person filming. Who would go out to lunch with these two and film and then put their phone on the table? This is we just got done eating, maybe as a family. And Mom, me and Chaya, we have a work obligation for the Nazi Empire. We forgot we had to do a fucking showdown today. Mom, will you film this horrendous 53-minute interview between me and Chaya Raychick, who's not my sister? Mom, don't laugh. Make sure that you don't call either of us your daughters. You don't know us. But anyway, what is up with that third phone, right? Am I reading into this, guys? I mean, and then, dude, don't even get me started on this. This is literally a talking point so that you don't talk about the fact that they look the same and they're clearly on like a lunch date. They're at the very least friends and friendly. Why would Taylor Lorenz be friends with this fucking bad witch, this bwitch? What's up with that? Yeah, why is that car so close too? I think it's because they're in like the parking in New York and in LA, which is, I'm assuming, maybe where they are. They often have like outdoor dining in the parking, in like the literally on the fucking side of the road. It's kind of awesome, actually. But yeah, it's probably because there's parking there, and then the restaurant just has like a couple spots. Yeah, why are there 3 phones, right? And dude, when I brought all this up, I made a video that was like 10 minutes, and this is when I absolutely had Taylor's attention because she was going in on Nicole and Dante at the same exact time. I made a video being like, I think, and dude, when I said this out loud, I felt it in my stomach. I was like, this is true. This is true. I could feel my intuition was telling me this is fucking true. And so I started commenting at Taylor, and I made a video, and I was like, Chaya Raychick is your fucking sister, dude. And then she blocked me, and I lost 2 of my accounts, and she blocked me on literally everything. Like she had known all my accounts somehow. But I was just, you know, talking to her on TikTok at the time, but she blocked me on Twitter, everywhere. And it was because I was saying this, I think. But the reason she has this whole stupid shirt here is so you don't realize it's a fucking magic trick, bro. They're magicians. They're wicked witches. This is so you talk about this instead, and you don't see this looks like this. And you don't see this and this and this and their lunch, and they just got done eating and being merry, and they both look like they don't want to be here, but they have to because it's their fucking job, and their poor mom's got to sit here and film it all. Their fucking ruse. How embarrassing. They did this out in public. Dude, I would kill to have stumbled upon this. I dream about this. Oh, brother. Okay, we have dilly-dallied forever. We're getting into the fucking reptile, boys. But first, a word from our sponsor, the Cosmic Ripple Boys. Hand is not included. Look at this. Oh my frickin' God. Hold on. Let me make it big for you. That's what she said. Hold on. Go back. Oh no. Oh my God. Cannot included. This is intuition and energy flow. Organized pyramid. Get yours frickin' today. Hold on, boys. That didn't work out that well. This is a with a blue lace agate, labradorite, amazonite, violet resin base, not violent, and copper spiral from the Cosmic Ripple Boys. Hand is not included. You don't get that. Oh man, look at this, boys. Beautiful. Double coil. It looks pretty, and so does the pyramid. All right, boys. Thank you for your support and your undying devotion. Just kidding. This is a cult. Oh. Just kidding. It's not a cult. Or is it? All right, boys. Here we go. Oh! Wait, before, hold on. We're getting to the reptile. Don't worry. I'm going to close out Taylor so I don't get excited and fucking talk about her again. Hold the fuck on. Boys. Boys, the knitting cult lady.
So multi?
Someone said this. Maybe one of you tagged me in it, or did I just stumble in it? I forget. I wish I had it right now. Maybe I can find it. Someone was like, bro, I think the knitting cult lady is just a cult. She totally is, bro. Dude, the knitting too. You know what it reminds me of?
Tell me when you found it.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Come here, Chris. Look at me.
She's like, the military is not doing a coup to America.
Where was your mom?
Donald Trump is just the only problem we have, guys. The military will never follow him.
She was coming home. She wasn't home.
A cult has merged. You're so fucking right, Ray. Let's go.
And what did you do?
You're so fucking right.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I just sat there.
Okay, before I get fucking copyrighted. But dude, I literally commented on her video today and I was like, did you guys know that the knitting cult lady is selling you a knitting cult book? Dude, every time I see her, it's just an ad. It's like, come the fuck on. She's doing an ad for Mormonism and an ad for cults and an ad for her fucking cult book that's got, I'm sure, tons of lies. It was signed off, like one of her proud things is that it was signed off by the DOD. She's proud of that. What? She's like, yeah, every book has to be signed off by the DOD. Yeah, to get like a fucking... to get sucked by them. And she's like, the American military is a cult. Okay. So why don't you fucking... why do you care what they think? Just release this shit. She's like... the military is really not doing a coup. Stop. Yes, I am from... what's the cult that she's from? Are they called the Family too? Or the... I forget which one. But then then you start look beyond the hypnosis of it all, right? And the pacification of everyone. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what she's doing. Her whole thing is everyone's like, bro, the military are cooing us and they'll do whatever Trump wants. And she's like, no, they won't. You can object to things and the military will do what's right at the end of the day. The military's run by Nazis. What the fuck are you talking about? Then beyond the pacification and all of the fucking knitting, look at her look, man. The fucking like person who accepts everyone for who they are didn't even really notice this, but someone made a good point. They were like, now don't get me wrong, I like people who dress eccentric and shit. But this is kind of like cult leader eccentric, right? A little bit, kind of. And dude, if you go against the flock in the comments, oh man, they fucking monkey pile. They go crazy mode with it too. They're so libbed up, it's crazy. So anyway, I just want to drop that and see what you guys think. But, right? I think Cult Lady made a cult. And we absolutely are not a cult because we don't even have merch, Paul. Paul's like trying to make the anti-cult for Nitwitches act right now as we speak.
This is a very good point, which is that Native people's use of family and concept of family.
Like, dude, the knitting is at this point, I'm like, this is a programming device. How does the knitting work? She gives me the creeps. YouTube, yeah. YouTube's been pushing knit Nazi on me hard this week. Wait, is this a genre? Knitting Nazis? Dude, she's kind of, I bet is she a little bit of a trad wife? Is she like, I can't get her whole vibe. I just know that she freaks me out. She like feels like at any moment she might pull out a fucking Gom Jabbar and hold it up to your throat like in Dune, you know? She'd be like, put your hand in the box. I do not want to put my fucking hand in the box. She's like, do it. Do it. Right? Dude, she has demon face. Oh, boys, you're trying to get us in trouble. Oh my goodness, you're so fucking right, bro. She has demon face, full on. Full on, dude. Oh no. Bro. Right? That's got to go on the Miro. Those eyes, right? Bro. Fed ears, black eyes. Knitting people around me are creepy as fuck. Wait, the knitting people that are around you personally? What do you mean? Knitting people around me? I usually think it's cool. Like if I see someone pull out something to knit on the train or on the bus and they just got it like sitting in their purse and they just always got it there to fuck around, I think that's awesome. This is beginning to feel like something else entirely, right? It feels like it's like a Pavlovian thing. I don't know. It's like an ASMR thing or it's like one of those it's like a fucking Maze Runner for adult millennials, right? It's obviously, yeah, to keep people paying attention and stuff, but at this point it's starting to feel like a little bit Monkey Ultron. I'll say. She has an old lady face with no wrinkles. I don't know how else to explain it. Yeah, it's like it's kind of like the heroin baby chic. Dude, she'd be a cloner donor, bro. Right? Come on. Let's go add her to the wall. Let's go, like, real, for sure, right, boys? She belongs on the cloner donor wall. This is what we call Crack baby chic. Right? Look at all their... They all look like old, sad people with no wrinkles. Bro. She's part of it. Let's go. I love adding new people to the wall. It's her whole vibe. I think it's part of, it's what happens from the cloning. I think it's got to be part of the cloning. Right? It's got to be. She doesn't have the old lady hands though. Huh.
Very different than what we see in the settler vocabulary when we say family and use
I think it might be the demon face syndrome taking over.
Familial analogies in English in reference to group behavior. And in fact, cults love to use familial terminology. As we know.
Come on, guys. Did you know that the knitting cult lady has a book?
From the Children of God naming itself The Family. This is the book I wrote, Uncultured, about growing up in the Children of God and then going into the cult of the U.S. Army. You can get signed copies here or listen to me read it to you on Spotify.
Concerned Earthling, you need to make a Nathan Fielder style documentary about these knitting. There is a knitting store around me where they have retreats and they follow you around the store and they block the retreat area with their lives. What the fuck is going on there? What's going on at this retreat? Voice is sus. Yeah, her voice is sus.
By Premium or anywhere else you get your audios. So I always say in my 10 commandments for good groups that are not cults, which will be available at the end of The Culting of America, which comes out January 20th.
Oh my god. We're getting the fucking... Is this already a trilogy? You couldn't put it all in one?
Is my 10 commandments for good groups that are not cults. And one of those commandments is thou shalt not call thyself a family ever. And I've written in Culting America in the language chapter about how cults use familial language and it's part of breaking you down. We are your family. You need to come away from your family, your natural brothers and sisters and fathers.
We're a dope ass community, bros.
And mothers, and let us be your
I do kind of like this peacock necklace though.
Family, right? Now, this has to do a lot with the familial concept of, the patriarchal concept of family.
All right, we're done with this. Boys, we can't wait any longer. Y'all ready for your fucking dessert? This shit is 1 hour and 2 minutes. We're gonna watch the whole motherfucking thing. I don't care if it takes till 1 in the morning. Here we go. You ready for this? Wait, I do want to see that. I want to show you a treat of the only thing that I've seen so far about this. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get this off camera. Sorry, excuse me. That was gross. Oh, wait. Hold on. You know we got to take a detour for a second.
Free Palestine, and death to the IDF.
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 Death to the IDF. Death to the IDF. Death to the IDF. Death to the IDF. Death to the IDF. Death to the IDF. Death to the IDF.
Let's fucking go.
Death to the IDF. Death to the IDF.
Let's fucking go. We're coming for you, Peter. We're coming for you, Peter. Wait.
Free Palestine.
What was that?
And death to the IDF.
So good, you gotta hear it twice, boys.
Death to the IDF.
Death to the IDF.
Death to the IDF.
Death to the IDF.
Death
Get the fucking up. Get your jean shorts on, boys. Let's go.
to the IDF.
Get your motherfucking jean shorts on, boys. Get your fucking jean shorts, boys. Get your jean shorts on now. Get your jean shorts on, Paul. Come on, Paul, let's go, boys. Get your Canadian jean shorts. We gotta go. Fuck these fascist hoes. We're gonna get you, Peter. Fucking loser. All right, boys, calm down.
Free Palestine.
You guys remember how stupid the JFK file release was? Well, not anymore, bitch.
Hold on, I clicked off of that on accident. We'll have to go watch that. Wait, okay, here it is. We'll have to go watch that Ethan video.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in this.
Should the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But I also would I also would like us to radically solve these problems.
Right.
And so, you know, it's always, I don't know, you know, yeah, transhumanism is this, you know, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. And there's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a sexual context, or I don't know, a transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross dresses, and a transsexual is someone.
Look at how excited he's getting. This is what they got. These boys, this is the problem. It excites them so much, but they're scared.
Where you change your, I don't know, penis into a vagina, and we can then debate how well those surgeries work. But we want more transformation than that. The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's so.
This guy is not a human. We can safely say that, right? Is this a human? If you had to bet your fucking life on this, would you fucking say that this is a human? I don't know. I don't think so.
So pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart.
Yeah, dude, Harry, radically solve these problems, huh? Like, if you guys listen to the words they say, they tattle on themselves. Radically solve these problems. They're talking about famine, genocide, like all the fucking sides. They don't give a fuck, dude. Bill Gates owns all the water in the United States. They are covering the fucking sun. This fucking ape is talking about radically lowering the population. What the fuck? How? What are you talking about, Peter? Why would the guy who owns PayPal have any say in any of this shit? Huh?
And change your mind and change your whole body.
Let's normalize calling lizards slee stacks. I like that. Oh
Guys, what?
Anyway, let's just watch it. Here we go. Ready, boys? The main event. Your dessert. Peter Thiel. We're going to all get Blood Boy IVs while we watch this, and then we're going to defenestrate our boyfriends. Here we go. If this guy does not ask about his boyfriend who was defenestrated and thrown out his fucking balcony or whatever, I mean, it doesn't matter. Peter's going to bury himself anyway. Let's hear this lizard
Is
talk.
Silicon Valley recklessly ambitious? What should we fear more, Armageddon or stagnation? Why is one of the world's most successful investors worrying about the Antichrist? My guest today is the
LOL, I want this to be a cult. I don't want autonomy over my own life anymore. No, stop, everybody. We have free will, and we're trying to use it. That's the whole point.
co-founder of PayPal and Palantir, and an early investor in the political careers of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Peter Thiel is the original tech-right power
Hitler.
player, well known for funding a range of conservative and simply contrarian ideas. But we're going to talk about his own
Look at them fucking ears, dog. You ever seen ears like that? Jesus guacamoles.
ideas. Because despite the slight handicap of being a billionaire, there's a good case that he's the most influential right-wing intellectual of the last 20 years.
Intellectual.
Peter Thiel, welcome to Interesting Times.
Thanks for having me.
You're
Silicon Valley investor? That's his lower third? What the fuck?
very welcome. Thanks for being here. So I want to start by taking you back in time about 13 or 14 years. You wrote an essay for National Review, the conservative magazine, called The End of the Future. And basically the argument in that essay was that the dynamic, fast-paced, ever-changing modern world was just not nearly as dynamic as people thought. And that actually we entered a period of technological stagnation, that sort of digital life was a breakthrough.
I swear to God, Peter Thiel's blink right there was literally one frame. It was the fastest blink in all the land. It was like a robot blink.
But not as big a breakthrough as people had hoped, and that sort of the world was kind of stuck, basically.
Yes.
And you weren't the only person to make arguments like this, but it had a special potency coming from you because you were a Silicon Valley insider who had gotten rich in the digital revolution.
Has anyone seen Hitler as a kid? Yeah, what did he look like? Hitler teen. Is this really him? Here, let's look at Peter Thiel as a boy. Like, dude. Honestly, I kind of feel bad for this little fucking creep. Look at him. He's got sad fucking eyes even from a kid. They fucking tore his root chakra up, bro. Peter Thiel, come on. I know there's literally no hope for Peter Thiel. Honestly, there's no hope for Paul anymore at this point. Paul's a lost cause. Paul, your time is over. You're no longer invited on the Cat Dad show, bro.
Evolution. So I'm curious, in 2025, right? Do you think that diagnosis still holds?
Yes, I still broadly believe in the stagnation thesis. It was never an absolute thesis. So the claim was not that we were absolutely completely stuck. It was in
Okay, just first off, real quick, I'll say the sweat this time managed so far. The interview just began. There's lights overhead that you can't see. He will be heating up. Oh, his arm is definitely glistening there. The eyes still crazy as ever, but he's not as manic as normal. Okay? And what is this? Ethanol? There's no way he can drink water, right? Lizards are water phobic. Are they hydrophobic? Can lizards have water in their body? I'm not sure.
some ways a claim about that the velocity had slowed. It wasn't, zero, but that we were, I don't know, from 1750 to 1970, 200 plus years were periods of accelerating change where we're, we're moving faster. The ships were faster, the railroads were faster, the cars were faster, the planes were faster. It culminates in the Concorde and the Apollo missions. And
well, this is exactly what Hitler looks like without the mustache, right here. Oh, you meant when he was a kid? Yeah, but this is also what Hitler looks like without a mustache. Them big old fucking ears, dog.
And then
I mean, we'll watch it. My plan was to just watch it, yeah. You guys want to, right? I mean, this dude's gonna rat on himself. He always does. And he looks crazy no matter what. I feel like it's, I usually watch him to see his fucking slip-ups. But also, I think they tell us a lot. But yeah, unless it gets super fucking boring, my plan was to.
And then
His eyes look like he just snorted an entire 8-ball before he went on. Yeah, but he's not sweating
that in all
profusely
sorts
yet.
of dimensions, things had slowed. There was, I always made
maybe
an
not,
exception
actually.
for the world of bits. So we had, computers and software and internet and mobile internet. And then, the last 10, 15 years, you had crypto and the AI revolution, which I think is in some sense pretty big. But the question is, is it enough to really get out of this generalized sense of stagnation? And there's an epistemological question you can start with on the Back to the Future essays. How do we even know whether we're in stagnation or acceleration?
Like, dude, you are the stagnation. You're holding everyone back. You are the stagnation. What the fuck are you talking about, you lizard?
Because one of the features of late modernity is that people are hyper specialized, and
Oh my God, this guy.
Can you say that we're not making progress in physics unless you've devoted half your life to studying string theory? Or what about quantum computers? Or what about cancer research and biotech and sort of all these verticals? And then how much does progress in cancer count versus string theory? And so you have to give weightings to all these things. So it's in
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. If we don't get to it tonight, because it's already getting late, I have the boy video up, so we'll get to it tomorrow for sure.
theory, it's an extremely difficult question to get a handle of, because the fact that it's so hard to answer, that we have ever narrower groups of guardians guarding themselves, is itself cause for skepticism. And so yes, I think broadly we're in this world that's still pretty stuck. It's not absolutely stuck.
Yeah, you mentioned Back to the Future, and we just showed our kids the original Back to the Future, the first one with Michael J. Fox, and of course,
it was like 1955 to 1985,
right.
30 years back, and then the Back to Future 2 was, I think, 1985 to 2015, which is now a decade in the past, and that's where you had flying cars and the 2015 future.
This fucking nerd, dude. He's such a fucking nerd. He's such a fucking Lord of the Rings and Back to the Future fucking nerd. Oh my god. Dude, what did they do to you, Peter? What happened to you, you freak? I saw another good video of that someone made that was talking about how Elon fucking literally takes every wrong moral of every sci-fi book ever written. Like, these nerds are fucking fans of Tolkien and stuff, and they fucking love inverting it, like everything. They, like, want Skynet, bro. They're so weird. But he's such a fucking little nerd that obviously just got fucking... I don't know what happened to him as a kid. They fucking got him. They got him, boys. Poor little Peter. He lights up when he starts talking about Back to the Future. I've never seen a spark in this man's eye that didn't look just nuts. You start talking about Back to the Future, he's like, oh, fucking dork.
Future is wildly divergent from
the 2015 future did have Biff Tannen as a Donald Trump-like figure in some kind of power, so it had some kind of prescience. But yeah, the big noticeable thing is just how different the built environment looks. And so one of the strongest cases for stagnation that I've heard is that, yeah, if you put someone in a time machine from various points, they would recognize themselves to be in a completely different world if they left 1860
or
and
1890
landed
to 1970. If you live, those are the 80 years of your lifetime,
right.
Something like that.
But the world, just to my kids, even, as children of 2025, looking at 1985, it's like the cars were a little different and no one has phones, but the world seems fairly similar. So that's a kind of non-statistical, but
that's
I think
the common sense.
That's
intuition.
a common sense understanding. But are there, like, what would convince you that we were living through a period of takeoff? Is it just economic growth? Is it productivity growth? Like, are there numbers for stagnation versus dynamism that you look at?
Sure, it would be. Well, the economic number would just be how, what are your living standards compared to your parents? If you're a 30-year-old.
Like, dude, you're the person who you could literally do something about all this shit and you still just let it be fucking miserable. That's how we know you're Nazis, you fucking cuck.
Millennial or, how are you doing versus when you're...
Yeah, he's breathing so weird, like chopping the breath early. Yeah, because he doesn't know how to deep breathe because he's a fucking lizard.
Your boomer parents were 30 years old. How did they do at the time? There are intellectual questions. How much, how many breakthroughs are we having? How do we quantify these things? Like, what are the returns of going into research? There certainly are diminishing returns to going into science or going into academia generally. And then maybe this is why so much of it feels like this sociopathic Malthusian kind of an institution, because you have to throw more and more and more at something to get the same returns. And at some point, people give up and the thing collapses.
Well, right. So let's pick up on that. Why should we want growth and dynamism? Because as you've pointed out in some of your arguments on the subject, right, there is a kind of cultural change that happens in the Western world in the 1970s, around the time you think things slow down, start to stagnate, where people become very anxious about the costs of growth, the environmental costs above all.
Yes.
And the idea being...
He's breathing the way you breathe after you've been sobbing.
You end up with a wide...
I mean, it's how you breathe when you're anxious and you're like in fight or flight because you're a liar, right? This is how I feel like he talks, like how all my friends were talking to me at the intervention. Like where you can tell something's up and they, like they're lying. He's a liar. He's being deceptive. He knows he's on high alert because he has to do this interview for some reason, but he can't say too much. But he's also knows that if they start talking about Back to the Future, he's going to get a boner and it's going to throw him off. A lizard boner.
Shared perspective that we're sort of rich enough, and if we try too hard to get that much richer, the planet won't be able to support us. We'll have degradation of various kinds, and we should be...
Like, all these bros are eugenicists. Bill Gates is a eugenicist. His dad is like an open eugenicist.
Content with where we are. So what's wrong with that argument?
Well, I think there are deep reasons the stagnation happened. So, there are always three questions you can ask about history. What actually happened? And there's a question you get to what should be done about it. But there's also this intermediate question, why did it happen?
He's like immigrants, poor people, trans kids. We should beat up all trans kids, okay? And then send them to our labs so we can study them. Fuck with them.
People ran out of ideas. I think to some extent the institutions degraded and became risk averse, and sort of these cultural transformations we can describe. But then I think to some extent also people had some very legitimate worries about the future, where if we continue to have accelerating progress, were you accelerating towards environmental apocalypse or nuclear apocalypse or things like that. But I think, if we don't find a way back to the future, I do think the society, I don't know, it unravels. It doesn't work. The way the middle class, I would define the middle class as the people who expect their kids to do better than themselves. And when that expectation collapses, we no longer have a middle class society. And maybe there's some way you can have a feudal society in which things are always static and stuck, or maybe there's some way you can shift to some radically different society. But it's not the way the Western world. It's not the way the United States has functioned for the first 200 years of its existence.
So you think that ordinary people won't accept stagnation?
Dude, isn't it crazy that next year is the 250th anniversary of America? Oh yeah, I wanted to watch Minutes of Horror made a 4th of July video too. We should probably slip that in if we can.
Stagnation in the end. It's that they will rebel and sort of pull things down around.
Yeah, this lizard fuck and his friends, his merry band of idiots, they took the entire middle class. Who else would do this shit?
Around them in the course of that rebellion.
You know, they may rebel or...
Yeah, I hear blah, 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 blah. I know, it's fucking crazy. Robot versus lizard.
Our institutions don't work. You know, all of our institutions are predicated on growth.
Right. Our budgets are certainly predicated on growth.
Yeah,
yes.
if you say...
Yeah, dude, exactly. Techno-feudalism sold as smart cities. Yeah, this is fucking T-ball.
I don't know, Reagan and Obama. You know, Reagan was sort of consumer capitalism, which is oxymoronic. It was, you know, you borrow, you don't save money as a capitalist, you borrow money. And Obama was low tax socialism, just as oxymoronic as, you know,
what the fuck are you talking about,
consumerist
bitch?
capitalism of Reagan. And yeah, I like low tax socialism way better than high tax socialism, but I worry that it's not sustainable. At some point, you either the taxes go up or the socialism ends. So it's deeply unstable, and that's why people they're not optimistic. They don't think we've hit some stable.
There's nothing we could do better than capitalism. Give us your money. Shut up. Stop whining.
Well, you know, the Greta future. Maybe it can work.
This
but
is
we're
the
not
Greta
yet there.
Thunberg.
The Greta
Just to be clear,
future.
that's a reference to Greta Thunberg, the activist best known for anti-climate change protests, who, to you, I would say, represents a kind of symbol of a anti-growth, effectively authoritarian, environmentalist-dominated future.
Sure, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. You know, it'd be like a very, very different society if you really
actually lived in a kind of degrowth, you know, small Scandinavian villages.
I'm not sure it'd be North Korea, but it would be super oppressive.
One thing that's always
This, boys, this is not oppression. Everybody, everyone except for the billionaires. The billionaires are living a cush life, bro. It's working. Come on. That would be oppression. Dude, tribalism is where it's at, dog. Little city states. Fuck yeah. Everyone has their ether flow, their vibe. Everybody's chilling, everyone's fucking friends. Free interstate travel with airships. Oh. Imagine all these silent-ass airships flying around in the clouds. The real clouds, because they're back, boys. The ether gets humming back. A tree sprouts out of the top of fucking Devil's Peak, or Devil's Tower. A little mushroom tree starts growing back to the fucking stratosphere. Climbs up, touches the ether, kisses it. The fucking grid sparks. Boom. The entire Earth is finally reconnected to motherfucking the cosmos. Deeply rooted in the fucking heart of Earth, right? And then the branches reach up and they fucking hold the skies. You've never seen anything bigger than fucking the tree that was at Devil's Tower. It literally touched the fucking stratosphere, held that shit up, and once the branches were up there, boom. That shit sparked like a grid, bro. Sparked like fucking, like Disneyland at night. The whole sky was singing. And these motherfucking lizards cut that shit down. Ugh. Anyway. But yeah, imagine the whole sky's fucking lit up. You got airships. None of these fucking loud-ass planes flying around anymore. Nobody's in a rush. Everyone lives to 600. Everyone's fucking chilling. You get to go take like 3 months of vacation, 6 months of vacation a year. Just go see the fucking world. Go see the beauty. This is heaven. We're supposed to chill. You're supposed to live like a cat, dude. Passed out on an airship. Why not? Why the fuck not? Right? We deserve that, bro. We've done plenty of work. And look, it's got us nothing. We haven't built a single fucking pyramid except for the the Bass Pro Shop pyramid. Let us build shit and take breaks. You just watched Zardoz yesterday? Honest, I saw that a long time ago when it was just like a goofy movie to watch. But should I watch it? Dude, I'm rewatching, me and Skitter are watching Westworld. Skitter hasn't seen it. But I was like, dude, you're gonna love it. Dude, on like fourth rewatch and like understanding everything that we know about consciousness and stuff now, I'm like, bro, Lisa Joy was onto some shit. The show's kind of immaculate. The first season for sure. I'll keep reporting as we're watching. Oh yeah, Skitter's building pyramids, but other than Skitter's pyramids is just Bass Pro Shop, bro. What the fuck? Let's build stone pyramids again. Let us build cathedrals. Why does everyone gotta work at fucking Arby's, dude? Let us cook. Let us imagine shit. No more fossil fuels. They're not even made from fossils. They're not dinosaurs. Dinosaurs aren't real. Come on, everyone grow up. All right, we're never going to get through this.
Struck me is that when you have this sense of stagnation, a sense of decadence, right, to use a word that I like to use for it in a society, you then also have people who end up being kind of eager for a crisis, right? Eager for a moment to come along where, you know, they can.
Why is this guy not just like, why are you a Nazi? Huh? Why did you support, why did you fucking fund January 6th? Why are you a fucking lizard? Why is your name an anagram for the reptile? Why are you so weird? Why are you always sweating? Are you doing drugs currently? Sometimes you give off that fucking affect, you know?
Radically redirect society from the path it's on. Because I tend to think that in rich societies, you hit a certain level of wealth, people become very comfortable, they become risk averse, and it's just hard. It's hard to get out of decadence into something new without a crisis. So the original example for me was after September 11th. There was this whole mentality among foreign policy conservatives that we had been decadent and stagnant, and now is our time to, you know, wake up and launch a new crusade and remake the world. And obviously that ended very badly. But something similar.
But it was Bush 43 just told people to go shopping right away.
So it wasn't anti-decadent enough.
For the most part.
So
there was some neocon foreign policy enclave in which people were LARPing as a way to get out of decadence, but the dominant thing was Bush 43 people.
Dude, it's hard to listen
just
to
to go
Peter.
shopping.
So what risks should you be willing to take?
Bunch of fucking shoppers. It's hard to listen to Peter. He sucks.
To escape decadence. It does seem like there's a danger here where the people who want to be
I am going to speed this up. Is that okay?
anti-decadent have to take on a lot of risk.
Peter's so
they have
dull.
to say, look, you've got this nice, stable, comfortable society, but guess
We'll slow it down if we get to some react that we need to.
what? We'd like to have a war or a crisis or a
Why do you support the Proud Boys, huh?
total reorganization of government and so on. They have to lean into.
Why doesn't PayPal fucking give out money to Palestinians? And why did you let people lie and say that they were doing a bunch of GoFundMes for Palestinians when you know that you don't pay it out to them? You little PayPal Nazi. Oh, I mean PayPal Mafia. Same thing.
Into danger, right?
I don't know if I have to answer. I don't know if I give you a precise answer, but my directional answer is a lot more.
Yeah.
We should take a lot more risk. We should be doing a lot more. And I don't know.
It's like, we're going to put chips in everyone's fucking brains, boys.
Can go through all these different verticals. It's, if we look at biotech, something like dementia, Alzheimer's, we've made zero progress in 40 to 50 years. People are completely stuck on beta amyloids. It's obviously not.
What's with the khaki and the Navy? Why U-Haul and Penske trucks? Do you know a guy?
working. It's just some kind of a stupid racket where the people are just reinforcing themselves. And so, yes, we need to take way more risk in that department.
Well, I want to ask, to keep us in the concrete, I want to stay with that example for a minute and ask, okay, what does that mean? Saying we need to take more risks in anti-aging.
We're doing human experimentation. We've been running a secret, black fucking male cult with, children. We've been doing time travel with children. Their brains, they can handle the warping reality and shit. What else? We do sexual violence to kids. It's a lot of kid stuff. I drink kid blood. Is that concrete enough for you? We want to eugenics the world and make it an entire white world of goofballs, obedient NPCs. We're a bunch of racists and cucks. And my name is Peter Thiel. Nice to meet you.
Research. Does it mean that the FDA has to step back and say anyone who has a new treatment for Alzheimer's can, go ahead and sell it on the open market? Like, what is risk in the medical space look like?
Yeah, you would take a lot more risk. If you have some fatal disease, there probably are a lot more risks.
Peter's alive a little bit now with the 1.25.
You can take. There are a lot more risks the researchers can take. Culturally, what I imagine it looks like is early modernity, where people, they thought we would cure diseases. They thought we would have radical life extension. Immortality was part of the project of early modernity. It was Francis Bacon, Condorcet. It was, and maybe it was anti-Christian. Maybe it was downstream of Christianity. It was competitive. If Christianity promised you a physical resurrection, science was not going to succeed unless it promised you the exact same thing. And then, but I don't know. I remember 1999, 2000 when we were running PayPal. One of my co-founders.
Peter just did that from the 99 to the 2000. The backyard, the backyard, the backyard, the backyard.
Founders Luke knows that he was into Alcor and cryonics,
up.
and people should freeze themselves. And we had one day where we took the whole company to a freezing party. A Tupperware party. People sell Tupperware policies at a freezing party.
They sell. Was it just your heads? What was going to be frozen?
You could get a full body or just a head.
The head was cheaper.
It was disturbing when the dot matrix printer didn't quite work, and so the freezing policies couldn't be printed out. But in retrospect, this was.
Peter's got jokes, boys. Look, his AI model came updated with a new joking filter. He's like Hal. He got turned up to 27% jokey.
This was still
technological stagnation once again, right?
But it was but it's also a symptom of the decline, because in 1999.
That's a good TARS. Good job, TARS. We love you, buddy.
This was not a mainstream view, but there was still a fringe boomer view where they still believed they could live forever. And that was the last generation. And so I'm always anti-boomer. But
oh, yeah. Gattaca fucking rules, dude. I love so much sci-fi. So much sci-fi is so prescient to today. It's literally tattling on our real lives, bro. And once you can see through the psyop and shit, and you can tell, like, the fairy tales that they're putting in front of us have a little ring of truth to them. You can really see it, right? They put lies on the fucking news, and they put the truth in the movies. A little bit. And then they also try and program you, obviously. But if you know that they're programming you, you can read through it a little bit. It's fine. There's still art in them damn movies. They're still real to me, damn it.
Maybe there's something we've lost even in this fringe boomer narcissism, where there were at least a few boomers who still, believe science would cure all their diseases. No one who's a millennial believes that anymore.
I think there are some people who believe in a different kind of immortality, though. Right now, I think part of the fascination with AI is connected to a specific vision of transcending limits. And I'm going to ask you about that after I ask you about politics, because one of the striking things I thought about your original argument on stagnation, which was mostly about technology and the economy, was that it could be applied to a pretty wide range of things. And at the time you were writing that essay, you were interested in seasteading, sure. This ideas of essentially building new polities.
Oh, like Terramar? Are you talking about like Ghislaine Maxwell shit? Because she was doing Terramar shit. You know when Ghislaine Maxwell, on her court documents, she said that she was a fucking citizen of Terramar, not a fucking naturalized citizen of America. Isn't that interesting?
Independent.
She made her own little country in the middle of the ocean. The governments let her.
Of the sclerotic Western world. But then you made a pivot in the 2010s. So you were, one of the few prominent, maybe the only prominent Silicon Valley supporter of Donald Trump. In 2016, you supported a few sort of carefully selected Republican Senate candidates. One of them is now the Vice President of the United States.
Oh my God, I forgot for a second that we only have Peter Thiel to thank for J.D. Vance, bro. Oh my, hold on, I gotta take a little diversion just for a second. Just a little, teensy little second. Hold on.
You guys remember how stupid the JFK file release was? Well, not anymore, bitch. Now, I told you guys I would never truly retire from doing these CIA document breakdowns. This video...
Okay, wait, hold on. Ethan's making his fucking comeback, so let's watch this for a second. And don't let me forget, I was going to find the J.D. Vance, there's a J.D. Vance meme account that was really funny, okay? When I forget what I was here for after Ethan's video.
Video is for entertainment purposes only. Do not take anything in this as a fact. And remember, entertainment purposes don't take it as fact. So this is a document I found that used to be top secret on the NSA's website, and it is condolences from the Palestinians to America for the assassination of President Kennedy. Very tragic thing that happened.
Yeah, Peter Thiel was behind the Pope Death Touch guy? No way! Yeah, he sent his fucking assassin, J.D. Vance, to go kill the Pope and usher in the Antichrist himself.
Now, the Palestinians start by saying that what has happened is tragic and please convey our sympathy to the people of the United States. And then they say, but behind this mysterious crime is a carefully plotted Zionist conspiracy. What a wild second paragraph, first sentence. And these guys just...
Let's remember, the Zionists are Nazis!
Go on a tangent talking about, they did this. They did this fully. It was them. Here's evidence which is not linked to this file. Not surprised that doesn't exist. Now that alone isn't enough until I found this guy, Reuben Efron. Now this guy right here was monitoring Lee Harvey Oswald, something that the US government said did not happen, and we only know about it because of the JFK files. He was actually an Israeli spy. Now that's already really, really weird. We have Palestine immediately saying it's very clear Israel did this and we will supply you physical evidence, which is again not listed on the website, not even photos, no mention of it besides in that original letter. On top of that, everyone was thinking this. It was in the news. The CIA cataloged so many of these newspapers. They keep track of the stuff that they care about.
Yeah, you can tell what they care about by what clips they're keeping.
This is how I figured out stuff about Amelia Earhart. And like what started most of my UFO theories was going, why are they keeping track of all this? That should be an indicator to something. But again, back in the day, they said we have no kind of relationship with Lee Harvey Oswald, and we never had. He's not an agent. We weren't watching him. We never contacted him, interviewed him, talked with him, solicited reports, any information from him, even association. Not even close. That is the official basis, and this is from the 60s. But we now know that the CIA and the FBI were watching him, and he had a monitor who, again, was an Israeli spy. This is by no means proof of anything, but it'll definitely make you think. I love you guys. Thank you. You guys remember how stupid the JFK file release was? Well, not anymore, bitch. Now, I told you guys I would never truly retire from doing these CIA document breakdowns. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Do not take anything in this as a fact. And remember, entertainment purposes...
I would implore everyone start doing this. Hold on, let me just do it real quick and I'll show you. My favorite new thing...
So this is a document I found...
The fuck? Why did that start playing? My favorite new thing has been commenting pictures of the Paul tweet that started everything. Wait, when's this from? Oh, this is 6/10. That's a while ago. Oh, never mind then. Anyway, but with the picture comments, I've been fucking dropping so much Paul shit. Which one was it?
Just remember, boys, they wouldn't have to cover the motherfucking sun or whatever the hell that's supposed to be if we weren't fucking super...
Boys, if Iran is the...
Bro, look at this shit.
Anyway, I can't find it. But comment that picture of Paul next to Timothy McVeigh from that tweet on everything, boys. I don't think you get in trouble for comments yet, for pictures. They just take them down. So far. Don't post Peter Thiel side by side with Hitler. They take those down. But the Paul Wysopal Timothy McVeigh comparison, and a lot of people are like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Okay, anyway. Yeah, so the JD meme video. Thank you. Now we're getting back on Peter. I've got this on the rails, boys. Come on. Giddy up. Oh, dude. Glastonbury seems lit as fuck, bro. Yo! They're trying to fuck with Kneecap, and look what they did. This is the whole thing. They're getting the slingshot effect, bro. Or the rubber band. The rubber band's coming back to pop them in the eye. They can only push us so far. People are starting to get rowdy now. I like it. Dude, the vibes are immaculate, bro. Oh wait, here's one. I know I commented on it.
This is gonna sound fucking insane.
Oh, you can't see the pictures on
I was watching
fucking...
a Peter Thiel interview earlier today. It just came across my For You page, and I was looking at this nigga, and I was like, that's not a person. Like, that's not a human being. Am I the only one? Like, I don't know what it is, but when I was looking at his eyes and his mannerisms and everything, I was like, ugh. It was giving Uncanny Valley. It was giving Lizard, and I'm not even being facetious, y'all. Like, I'm being serious. I remember, follow me, because y'all remember when they told us about aliens and they gave us that little picture of that, like, I don't know, weird-ass looking alien? And then the shit that happens in Miami, that happened in Miami that nobody wants to talk about, and like the alien sightings that have been like reported more and more and more.
She's
right?
like alien.
I feel like they're doing that to throw us off of the fact that they already are here. And wouldn't it make sense if it was one of them? Because y'all are literally allergic to the sun. Y'all are not from here. Not all of y'all, but sometimes, every time I look at someone,
y'all are not from here.
and I'm like, they happen to be, and I'm not saying that's a coinky dink. I'm just saying it's something I noticed. This is gonna sound fucking insane, but I was watching a Peter Thiel
All right, here we go. We're getting to the Vance memes. Oh my goodness. What the fuck, bro? They're so good too. Wait, what is the couch from? I couldn't figure that out. I was like, what is the couch referencing? Because the couch comes up a couple times. Oh, it's from when he's sitting on the fucking couch like a big baby. That's right, because that's where the meme comes from. Duh, never mind, I'm so stupid. It's from when he was sitting on the couch harassing... What's his face? Zelensky. Yeah, this guy Nostromo core. Here, let's watch a couple. This is your palate cleanser. This is your vinegar or your ginger to palate cleanse from all the lizard teal. His third lid just fucking... That's what blinked. Dude, these are so good. We're never gonna have to pay artists again, boys. Yeah. No! Poor JD! No! What a nightmare. Oh, I hate it. God, no! Wait, isn't he the one who wrote in his book that he fucked couches? Wait, what? That FD couches? He fucked a couch? Necomesha, what are you talking? In his book, he said he fucked a couch? How have I never heard this information? Is there anyone talking about this? He's a couch fucker? What do you mean? He stuck his dick in between the cushions? Has AI gone too far at this point? Absolutely, yes. I will say there is a little craft in this prompt, so.
A new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
He did the gloves between the couches thing in college frat house? It was a frat couch? Shut the fuck up, dude. What are you talking about? Who's talking about this? All right, let's watch the Philly D. Well, let's watch the Federal D account of
JD
it.
Vance and the media are in the midst of a pretty big scandal involving his sex
We're never getting back to that Peter Thiel video. Now that we're on Vance, it's over.
life. Because back when JD was announced as VP, which was only 9 days ago, despite it feeling like 4 years, someone put on Twitter that JD Vance admitted to fucking his couch in his book Hillbilly Elegy. That then spreading like wildfire, even here on YouTube with you guys making edits of couches over romantic music with JD Vance. But this whole thing, in fact, getting so big, the Associated Press had to fact check the whole thing, and they put out a headline saying, no, JD Vance did not have sex with a couch. But then that actually set the whole journalism.
Well, if you gotta say no,
world ablaze, because how could they definitely state that? Because technically they can say that JD Vance never wrote.
it was in his first edition of his biography and then taken out of the second. 24-hour stream. We're never stopping
that he had
streaming.
sex with a couch. But they can't say they 100% know for sure that JD Vance has never smashed a couch. Because technically, they don't know that. Which is then why the Associated Press actually retracted their fact check on whether or not JD Vance fucked a couch, if he is a couch fucker.
I can't believe I'm with Philly D finally. Here we go. He's a couch fucker, dude.
Right, because their post, it didn't go through their standard editing process. JD Vance and the media are in the midst of a pretty big scandal involving his sex life. Because back when JD was announced as VP, which was only 9 days ago, despite it feeling like 4 years.
It happened when I was a lad. My folks were on vacation.
Can't say for sure, but he might be the first VP pick to have admitted in a New York Times bestseller to fucking an inside-out latex glove shoved between two couch cushions. Vance, Hillbilly Elegy, and they fucking wrote the pages. Oh my god. 1.8 million views. This couch fucker.
It was my chance, and so I grabbed the rubber glove and lubrication. I got in position by Mima's favorite old chaise longue. I fought inhibition, then I beat it into submission. I fucked the couch and I liked it. The smell of cigarettes on the fabric. I fucked the couch just to try it. My elegy was pornographic. That felt so strong, those cushions tight. Making love to a love seat feels so right. I fucked the couch and I liked it. I liked it. Don't try to make me feel ashamed. It's true, I acted rashly. That sofa didn't have a name, but I called her Ashley. If I was the VP, I'd...
What, Cat Dad? You never heard that? That is definitely a true story. He fucked couches. Literally everyone was. He definitely did. Why were they fucking a couch? Is there a picture of the page? Oh my god.
Be working with Iran or China, but you know that I'd be thinking of that artificial couch vagina. It got my nostrils flaring from that outfit that Alito was wearing. My lazy boy will be pumping as the ottoman is sliding and jumping. That felt so strong, those cushions tight, making love to a love seat feels so right. I fucked the couch and I liked it.
Come on, Paul. Tell us about fucking a couch. How did you get
What I was
initiated?
basically saying is that we're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country
And
miserable
couch
too. And
fuckers.
it's just a basic fact. You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children.
I fucked the couch and I liked it. The smell of cigarettes on the fabric. I fucked the couch just to try it. My elegy was pornographic. That felt so strong, those cushions tight, making love to the
I hope this never
love
ends.
feels so right. I fucked the couch and I liked it. I liked it.
Hell yeah, bravo. Yeah, not AI, still rips. Okay, just a couple more and then we'll watch Peter again. Oh no! Not fucking Liver King. Poor baby Vance. Dude, this was so funny before I knew that he fucked couches, bro. This is so... I was like, I know there's a story here, but whatever. I'll figure it out in due time. Get it, baby Vance. Oh. See? Cult sell merch.
In breaking news today, Pinhead was denied entry into the U.S. after authorities found a J.D. Vance meme on his phone. He's been sent back to hell.
The milkers. What is going on, dude? Beelzebub.
To survive a car accident, you would have to be built like this man. You would need a much larger skull with a greasy bulge on your face. The neck should be almost non-existent to avoid injury to the spinal cord. You would also need thicker skin and external air sacs on your chest to absorb more of the impact. This figure shows how poorly adapted the human body really is for a severe impact. To survive a car accident,
This is what it's like when memes collide. Oh, brother. Oh, no. Ugh. What's avocado Vance? Someone was literally detained by ICE for having a JD Vance meme on his phone. We're all going to Guantanamo Bay, bro. Every one of us. All right, we're back on Peter. Here we go. Come on, we got to power through this. We're never going to, yeah, 24-hour stream.
And my view as an observer of what you were doing was that you were basically being a kind of venture capitalist for politics, right? You were saying, here are some disruptive agents who might change the political status quo, and it's worth a certain kind of risk here. Is that how you thought about that?
There were all sorts of levels. I mean, one level was these hopes that we could redirect the Titanic from the iceberg was heading to, or whatever the metaphor is, really change course as a society.
Through political change.
Maybe a much narrower aspiration was that we could maybe at least have a conversation about this. When someone like Trump said, "Make America great again." Okay, is that a positive, optimistic, ambitious agenda, or is it merely, a very pessimistic assessment of where we are, that we are no longer a great country? And I didn't have great expectations about what Trump would do in a positive way, but I thought at least for the first time in 100 years, we had a Republican who was not giving us this syrupy Bush nonsense. And that was not the same as progress, but we could at least have a conversation. In retrospect, this was a preposterous fantasy. I had these two thoughts in 2016, and you often have these ideas that are just below the level of your sort of consciousness. But the two thoughts I had that I wasn't able to combine was, number one, nobody would be mad at me for supporting Trump if he lost, and number two, I thought he had a 50-50 chance of winning. And then I had this implicit.
Why would nobody be mad at you if he lost?
It would just be such a weird thing, and it wouldn't really matter.
Okay.
But then I thought, he had more. I thought he had a 50-50 chance because the problems were deep and the stagnation was frustrating.
Look at how hard he is about this. He's like, yeah, I helped get fucking Trump elected. I'm a cuck.
And then the fantasy I had was, if he won, we could have this conversation. And the reality was people weren't ready for it. And then maybe we've progressed to the point where we can have this conversation at this point in 2025, a decade after Trump. And of course, you're not sort of a zombie left-wing person, Ross, but this is. I've
been called many things, Peter.
I'll take whatever progress I can get.
So from your perspective so let's say there's two layers, right? There's sort of a basic sense of, this society needs disruption. It needs risk. Trump is disruption. Trump is risk. And the second level is Trump is actually willing to say things that are true about American decline, right? So do you feel like
I hate that JD Vance is associated with Ohio. Get the fuck out of my state. I know, dude. All these people poison all these beautiful fucking amazing places that we live. They make everything so bad. Dude, I swear to fuck, we used to live in paradise. This place was a hummin'. They fucking mud flooded us and demiurged us, killed everyone.
An investor, as a venture capitalist, got anything out of the first Trump term? Like what did Trump do in his first term that you felt was anti-decadent or anti-stagnation? If anything, maybe the answer is nothing.
Well, I think it took longer and it was slower than I would have liked, but we have gotten.
He's like, boys, we're fucking accelerating shit right now. We're going crazy mode with it.
To the place where a lot of people think something's gone wrong. And that was not the conversation I was having in 2012, 2013, 2014. I had a debate with Eric Schmidt in 2012 and Mark Andreessen in 2013 and Bezos in 2014. I was on there's a stagnation problem, and all three of them were versions of, everything's going great. And I think at least those three people have, to varying degrees.
Bro, can you imagine? I'm telling you, imagine this. Jeff Bezos, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. At least all those four. Those four in a room together, communicating with each other. Can you imagine how horrendous that would be? That would be fucking crazy, dude. That would be I would watch every second of that, but that would be the hardest listen, I think, of all of our lives. Like, and it would be like 4 hours long. Imagine when one of the and also they don't know that it's being recorded, so they just get to be themselves, and they just have like the giggle fits over talking about like squashing us like bugs or whatever they really talk about when they're, you know, think they're safe. Whoo. That would be listen to this impossible level. That would be the hardest listen of our lives, but we'd have to do it for the memes.
Updated and adjusted. Silicon Valley's adjusted.
And Silicon Valley, though, has more than adjusted. A big part of Silicon Valley
on the stagnation
question. On the stagnation, but then a big part of Silicon Valley ended up going.
Yeah, tech bros and the CIA are taking over, and old core billionaires are shitting their pants. Do you think that they're all just like, I mean, they're all fine though, right? They're all in it together. They're probably like rolling their eyes that they're like so blatant about what they're doing, you know? They got to work from the shadows a little better. Be a little less cracked out on meth all day. Make it less obvious that they're just drug-addled lunatics that are steering the fucking ship. They're Titanicing us. They're 9/11ing all of us.
In for Trump in 2024, inclling obviously most famously Elon Musk.
Yeah, and this is deeply linked to the stagnation issue.
Right. I'm a cuck.
These are always super complicated, but my telling is, you know, I don't. And again, I'm so hesitant to speak for all these people, but you know, someone like Mark Zuckerberg or Facebook Meta. And, you know, in some ways, I don't think he's very ideological. He didn't think this stuff necessarily through that much. It was the default was to be liberal. And it was always what, you know, if the liberalism isn't working, what do you do? And for year after year after year, it was you do more. You know, if something doesn't work, you just need to do more of it. And you up the dose and you up the dose and you spend hundreds of millions of dollars and you go completely woke and everybody hates you. And at some point, it's like, okay, maybe this isn't working.
So they pivot,
yeah,
right?
So it's not a pro-Trump thing.
It's not a pro-Trump thing, but it is, you know, just both in public and private conversations, it is a kind of sense that Trumpism and populism in 2024, maybe not in 2016, when, you know, Peter was out there as the, you know, the lone supporter, but now in 2024, they can be a vehicle for technological innovation, economic dynamism, and so on.
You're framing it really, really optimistically here. So
I think I know you're pessimistic.
When you frame it this optimistically, you're just saying these people are going to be disappointed and they're just set up for failure and things like this.
I mean, people expressed a lot of optimism. That's all I'm saying. Elon Musk expressed a lot of, I mean, he expressed some apocalyptic anxieties about how budget deficits were going to kill us all, but he came into government and people around him came into government basically saying, we have a partnership with the Trump administration and we're pursuing technological greatness. I think they were optimistic. Yes. And so you're coming from a place of greater pessimism or realism. So what I'm asking for is your assessment of where we are, not their assessment, but like, does populism in Trump 2.0 look like a vehicle for technological dynamism to you?
It's still by far the best option we have. I don't know, you know, is Harvard going to cure dementia by just puttering along, doing the same thing that hasn't worked for 50 years? So that's
just a case for it can't get worse. Let's do disruption, right? But the critique of populism right now would be Silicon Valley made an alliance with the populists, but in the end, the populists don't care about science. They don't want to spend money on science. They want to kill funding to Harvard just because they don't like Harvard, right? And in the end, you're not going to get the kind of investments in the future.
You are making this sound like they have hope.
that Silicon Valley wanted. Is that wrong?
Peter's cooler. He looks stretched out.
Yeah, but we have to go back to this question.
He does kind of look stretched out today. His head's not so wide at the top. He's not doing big brain mode.
Of, you know, how well is the science work?
Oh, his collar looks stretched out. I thought you were talking about his body, and I agree with both.
In the background, this is where, you know, the New Dealers, whatever was wrong with them, you know, they pushed science hard, and you funded it, you gave money to people, and you scaled it, and you know, whereas today, if there was an equivalent of Einstein and he wrote a letter to the White House, it would get lost in the mailroom, and the Manhattan Project is unthinkable. You know, if we call something a moonshot, this is the way Biden talked about, let's say, cancer research, a moonshot in the 60s still meant that you went to the moon. A moonshot now means something completely fictional that's never going to happen. Oh, you need a moonshot for that. It's not like we need an Apollo program. It means it's never, ever going to happen. And so,
but it seems like then you're still in the mode of, for you, as opposed to maybe for some other people in Silicon Valley, the value of populism is in tearing away the veils and illusions. And we're not necessarily in the stage where you're looking to the Trump administration to
Peter does always look strung out, but for the other times that we've seen him where he's like literally crashing out on camera, this is like the best appearance I've seen of him in a long time. But he's still insane. And his eyes are fucking nutty, dude.
to do the Manhattan Project, to do the moonshot. It's more like populism helps us see that it was all fake.
You need to try to do both, and they're very.
What's it called when people have the whites around their eyes when they're looking all the time? I feel like there's a phrase for it like that instead of stoned eyes.
Very entangled with each other, and I don't know. There's a deregulation of nuclear power, and at some point we'll get back to building, new nuclear power plants or better designed ones, or maybe even fusion reactors. And so yes, there's a deregulatory, deconstructive part, and then at some point you actually get to
Sanpaku eyes or Hanpaku eyes. Yeah, dude. Crackhead eyes,
get to
psychopath
construction,
eyes.
and it's all things like that. So yeah, in some ways you're clearing the field, and then
but you've personally stopped funding politicians.
I'm schizophrenic on this stuff.
Oh, whoa. The Black Eye Club, I think, is just like the movie Hostel. You think they get the black eyes when they go to their kill rooms? Maybe. All right, hold on. Let's watch Peter Thiel admit that he's schizophrenic.
It's all things like that. So yeah, in some ways you're clearing the field, and then
but you've personally stopped funding politicians.
I'm schizophrenic on this stuff. I think it's.
He's like, I did stop for a time, and then I killed my boyfriend by throwing him out the fucking window, and since, because he wanted me to stop doing this, and he was running his fucking mouth, so I had a CIA agent throw his ass out the fucking window. I drugged him and threw him out a balcony and blamed it on him. Yeah, anyway. So since I had him murdered, I've been funding politicians again. I'm the fucking puppet master, kind of. A little bit sometimes. I'm one of them. I'm one of the dummies that is the fucking public face of this shit. And I'm pretty obvious about it because I be drinking too many boys. I be imbibing that fucking Epstein shot too much. I be working for the feds. And I be snorting so much crystal, it's crazy. My blood is pure crystal. That Heisenberg shit. All right, anyway.
It's incredibly important, and it's incredibly toxic, and so I go back and forth on
incredibly toxic for you personally.
Yeah, they murdered our fucking boy Trevor Moore the same way. They threw him over a fucking balcony.
Everybody who gets involved. It's zero sum. It's crazy. And then in some ways,
because everyone hates you and associates you with Trump. Like how is it toxic for you personally?
It's toxic because it's in a zero sum world. The stakes in it feel really, really high, and
you end up having enemies you didn't have before.
It's toxic for all the people who get involved in different ways. There is a political dimension of getting back to the future. You can't, I don't know. This is a conversation I had with Elon back in 2024, and we had all these conversations. I had the seasteading version with Elon where I said, if Trump doesn't win, I want to just leave the country. And then Elon said, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. This is the only and then, you always think of the right arguments to make later. And it was about 2 hours after we had dinner and I was home that I thought of, wow, Elon, you don't believe in going to Mars anymore. 2024 is the year where Elon stopped believing in Mars, not as a silly science tech project, but as a political project. Mars was supposed to be a political project. It was building an alternative. And in 2024, Elon came to believe that if you went to Mars, the socialist US government, the woke AI, it would follow you to Mars. It was the Demis meeting with Elon that we sort of brokered. He was doing DeepMind.
This is an AI company.
Yeah, this was the rough conversation was, Demis tells Elon, I'm working on the most important project in the world. I'm building a superhuman AI. And Elon responds to Demis, well, I'm working on the most important project in the world. I am turning us into interplanetary species. And then Demis said, well, my AI will be able to follow you to Mars. And then Elon sort of went quiet. But in my telling of the history, it took years for that to really hit Elon. It took him till 2024 to process it.
But that doesn't mean he doesn't believe in Mars. It just means that he decided he had to win some kind of battle over budget deficits or wokeness to get to Mars.
What does Mars mean? Is it and again, it's...
What does Mars mean?
Well, is it just a scientific project, or is it, I don't know, is it like a...
This feels like abuse. This is like drug addict abuse.
I don't know, Heinlein.
A vision of a new society.
Yeah, Heinlein, you know,
populated by many
libertarian
people
paradise
descended
or something
from
like
Elon Musk.
Well,
right,
I don't know if it was
These two both refuse to stop talking over each other.
that specifically, but if you
Although I guess if the interviewer never stops talking, Peter will never stop talking. Like, Peter's never gonna stop talking. He's on that fucking meth patch, bro.
concretize things, then maybe you realize that Mars is supposed to be more than a science project. It's supposed to be a political project. And then when you concretize it, you have to start thinking through, well, the woke AI will follow you, the socialist government will follow you. AI. And then maybe you have to do something other than just going to Mars.
Okay, so the woke AI. Artificial intelligence seems like one, if we're still stagnant, it's the biggest exception to stagnation.
Yes.
It's the place where there's been remarkable progress, surprising to many people progress. It's also the place we were just talking about politics. It's the place where the Trump administration is, I think, to a large degree, giving AI investors a lot of what they wanted in terms of both stepping back and doing public-private partnerships. So it's a zone of progress and governmental engagement. And you are an investor in AI. What do you think you're investing in?
Well, I don't know. There's sort of a lot of layers to this. So I do think I don't know. There's one question we can frame is just how big a thing do I think AI is? And
this is incoherent, bro. Oh my God, we're halfway through. Okay, we're powering through, boys.
It's I don't know.
Yeah, are we not already on Mars, Paul or Peter? Yeah, look at Icon's got the emojis. That's the thing I miss about everyone being on Twitch. I can't do the emojis over on stupid YouTube. Coke or meth eyes, yeah.
Stupid answers. It's somewhere. It's more than a nothing burger, and it's less than the total transformation of our society. So my placeholder is that it's roughly on the scale of the internet in the late 90s, which is, I'm not sure it's enough to really end the stagnation. It might be enough to create some great companies. And, the internet added maybe a few percentage points to the GDP, maybe 1% to GDP growth every year for 10, 15 years. It added some to productivity. And so that's sort of roughly my placeholder for AI. It's the only thing we have. It's a little bit unhealthy that it's so unbalanced. This is the only thing we have. I'd like to have more multidimensional progress. I'd like us to be going to Mars. I'd like us to be having cures for dementia. If all we have is AI, I will take it. There are risks with it. There are, there are dangers with this technology.
So you're a skeptic. But then you are a skeptic of what you might call the sort of superintelligence cascade theory, which basically says that if AI succeeds, it gets so smart that it gives us the progress in the world of atoms, that it's like, all right, we can't cure dementia. We can't, figure out how to build the perfect factory that builds the rockets that go to Mars, but the AI can. And at a certain point, you pass a certain threshold, and it gives us not just more digital progress, but 64 other forms of progress. It sounds like you don't believe that, or you think that's less likely.
Yeah, I somehow don't know if that's been really the gating factor.
What does that mean, the gating factor?
It's probably a Silicon Valley ideology, and maybe in a weird way it's more liberal than a conservative thing, but people are really fixated on IQ in Silicon Valley, and that it's all about smart people.
Right.
And if you have more smart people, they'll do great things. And then the economics anti-IQ argument is that people actually do worse. The smarter they are, the worse they do. and they, it's just they don't know how to apply it, or our society doesn't know what to do with them, and they don't fit in. And so that suggests that the gating factor isn't IQ, but something that's deeply wrong with our society. So
is that a limit on intelligence, or a problem of the sort of personality types that human superintelligence creates? I mean, I'm very sympathetic to the idea, and I made this case when I did an episode of this podcast with a sort of AI accelerationist, that that certain problems can just be solved if you ramp up intelligence. It's like we ramp up intelligence and boom, Alzheimer's is solved. We ramp up intelligence and the AI can, figure out the automation process that builds you 1 billion robots overnight. I'm an intelligent.
He's like, no, I'm talking about artificial intelligence that enslaves all humanity and they don't even know it. Mind control, frequency control. What are you talking about? No, I'm trying to enslave humanity for lizards. Me, Peter Thiel, I'm a lizard.
Intelligent skeptic, in the sense I don't think. Yeah, I think you probably have limits.
It's hard to prove one way. It's always hard to prove these things, but
until we have the superintelligence.
I share your intuition, because I think we've had a lot of smart people and things have been stuck for other reasons. And so maybe the problems are unsolvable, which is the pessimistic view. Maybe there is no cure for dementia at all, and it's a deeply unsolvable problem. There's no cure for mortality.
Isn't dementia very much tied in with these fucking metals falling from the sky, or is that Parkinson's? I feel like I heard dementia makes it worse.
Maybe it's an unsolvable problem, or maybe it's these cultural things. So it's not, it's not the individually smart person, but it's how this fits into our society. Do we tolerate?
Dude, I know. I can't wait till Skitter gets to the end. Like, Skitter likes it a lot, I think, because we don't usually watch serious stuff at night, but we did, and I'm stoked because the show is, honestly, I feel like it always got a bad rap, but the more I watch it, the more I'm like, dude, this shit is fucking amazing. And they gracefully tie in how we are like Westworld looping robots. And this isn't a spoiler. This is obviously where it's going. But, but yeah, dude, I feel like Westworld's awesome. And then by the end of season 4, you're like, oh, I see why they canceled the show. It's because they don't want us to break out of our fucking loops. They don't. Yeah, you do like it? Okay, good. Because it's fucking rad, right? And it's very thought-provoking. But yeah. Even though the lizards control the media, good stuff still slips through. There's art there. And it sucks, too, because, dude, they know that movies and TV, they're like such a good art form. They're perfect. Sound, moving visuals, amazing. And so they know they have to fucking control it all. But that's okay, because they're often too stupid to see through art sometimes, because they don't have inquisitive minds. But they slowly catch on and then cancel it after 4 seasons. Even though Christopher Nolan and his brother are part of the fucking Nazi regime, I think Lisa Joy had some good ideas. Westworld rules. And yeah, I do need to watch the original. Yeah, that's why they ended it, fucking cucks. Dude, the last season is all about an AI that is literally controlling everyone. It's Palantir, bro. They have your birth records. They have everything about your work history. They have all of your text messages, all your emails, all your phone calls. They use that. They filter you. They go, you're never going to succeed at anything because you're kind of a fuck up. So we're going to relegate you to fucking doing only this kind of tasks. Like, you literally are getting programmed by a fucking AI, which is exactly what Peter Thiel wants to do. Anyway.
Great heterodox smart people. Maybe you need heterodox smart people to do crazy experiments, and if the AI is just conventionally smart, if we define wokeness, again, wokeness is too ideological, but if you just define it as conformist, maybe that's not the kind of smartness that's going to make a difference.
So do you fear then a plausible future where AI in a way becomes itself stagnationist, that it's like highly intelligent, creative in a conformist way? It's like, the Netflix algorithm. It makes infinite okay movies that people watch. It generates infinite okay ideas. It puts a bunch of people out of work and makes them obsolete, but it doesn't, it like deepens stagnation in some way. Is that a fear?
It's
like people just outsource.
It's quite possible. That's certainly a risk, but I guess where I end up is I still think we should be trying AI, and that the alternative is just total stagnation. So yeah, there's sort of all sorts of interesting things can happen with, okay, maybe drones in a military context are combined with AI, and okay, this is kind of scary or dangerous or dystopian, or it's going to change things. But if you don't have AI, wow, there's just nothing going on. And I don't know, there's like a version of this discussion on the internet where, did the internet lead to more conformity and more wokeness? And yeah, there are all sorts of ways where it didn't lead to quite the cornucopian.
Oh, one of the hypotheses for Idaho 4 was that many say that Kaylee and Maddie found some explosive Palantir data sets while she was working on their marketing deck, and that's why her and her roommates were killed. Palantir would absolutely do that. They kill people all the time. They killed Sam Altman's, the whistleblower for OpenAI, talking about them stealing everyone's copyright and shit.
Diverse explosion of ideas that libertarians fantasized about in 1999. But counterfactually, I would argue that it was still better than the alternative, that if we hadn't had the internet, maybe it would have been worse. AI is better. It's better than the alternative, and the alternative is nothing at all. Because here's one place where the stagnationist arguments are still reinforced. The fact that we're only talking about AI, I feel, is always an implicit acknowledgement that but for AI, we are like in almost total stagnation.
But the world of AI is clearly filled with people who, at the very least, seem to have a more utopian, transformative, whatever word you want to call it, view of the technology than you're expressing here, right? And you were mentioned earlier the idea that the modern world used to promise radical life extension and doesn't anymore. It seems very clear to me that a number of people deeply involved in artificial intelligence see it as a kind of mechanism for transhumanism.
Poor Peter Thiel drank a little bit of his water. No, he ate some of his water. Did you see that?
For transcendence of our mortal flesh, and either some kind of creation of a successor species or some kind of merger of mind and machine.
See?
And do you think that's just all kind of irrelevant fantasy? Or do you think it's just hype? Do you think people are trying to raise money by pretending that we're going to build a machine god, right? Is it hype? Is it delusion? Is it something you worry about? I think you would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would.
I don't know.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in this.
Should the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But I also would.
He said yes, but
I also would like us to radically solve these problems,
right.
And so it's always, I don't know, transhumanism is this. The ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. And there's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a sexual context, or a transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross
Bro, this is cringe as fuck.
dresses. And a transsexual is someone where you change your...
How is the editor not on a single of Peter right now? What the fuck is going on?
penis into a vagina, and we can then debate how well those surgeries work. But we want more transformation. The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's so pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole.
So why do you fucking care, dude? What are you talking about? This guy's deranged, bro.
Body. And then Orthodox Christianity,
Lizzie,
by the way,
answer. Chomping on H2O is wild.
Orthodox Christianity has of this is these things don't go far enough. Like that transhumanism is just changing your body, but you also need to transform your soul, and you need to transform your whole self. And so
right, but the other wait, sorry. I generally agree with what I think is your belief, that religion should be a friend to science and ideas of scientific progress. I think any idea of divine providence has to encompass the fact that we have progressed and achieved and done things that would have been unimaginable to our ancestors. But it still also seems like,
who the fuck is we?
The promise of Christianity in the end is you get the perfected body and the perfected soul through God's grace, and the person who tries to do it on their own with a bunch of machines is likely to end up as a dystopian character.
Well,
yeah. He's like, well, I read every science fiction as the bad guy, so that's what I do. I am the bad guy.
Let's articulate this.
And you can have a heretical form of Christianity, that says something else.
I don't know. I think the word nature does not occur once in the Old Testament, and so if you
he's coming for nature.
And that there is a word in which, a sense in which, the way I understand, the Judeo-Christian inspiration is, it is. Doesn't
he have a prayer app?
It is about transcending nature. It is about overcoming things, and
he's like, it's about defeating nature.
The closest thing you can say to nature is that people are fallen, and that's the natural thing in a Christian sense, is that you're messed up, and that's true. But there's some ways that with God's help, you are supposed to transcend that and overcome that. And,
right. But the people, present company accepted, most of the people working to build the hypothetical machine god don't think that they're cooperating with Yahweh, Jehovah, the Lord of hosts. They think that they're building immortality
Ross,
on their own.
Yeah, we're jumping around a lot of things. So again, the critique I was saying is they're not ambitious enough.
Right.
From a Christian point of view, these people are not ambitious enough. Now, then we get into this question: well, are they?
But they're not morally and spiritually ambitious enough.
And are they still physically ambitious enough? And are they even still really transhumanists? And this is where the cryonics thing, that seems like a retro thing from 1999. There isn't that much of that going on. So they're not transhumanists on a physical body. And then, maybe it's not about cryonics. Maybe it's about uploading, which, it's not quite. I'd rather have my body. I don't.
Right, Fern? What the fuck? Transcending nature? I'm telling you, dude, their war is against Gaia because that's our consciousness. We are of this fucking earth, bro. These people are not from here. And even if some of us weren't from here originally, we were most of us born here, not clones excluded. We're from this motherfucking earth, baby. So it don't matter why our stupid fucking ancestors were here or what the fuck dumb shit they were doing. But yeah, this bitch wants to destroy reality. NASA wants to collapse the firmament. That is why they poison every river. That is why they have fucking 5G towers on every motherfucking mountain. They are fucking frequency fighting them. These fucking assholes. Their war is against Gaia. It is against the planet. That's how they control us. Isn't that fucking crazy, dude? This is our fucking spaceship, and they're literally mutineering it. They're fucking destroying our spaceship. The only thing that keeps us from fucking falling into a black hole or some shit. And they're fucking trying to collapse the skies on us. What the fuck? This guy is fighting nature. What an asshole. And dude, I think this is a more like a more honest, or this is like an honest take on what these occult weirdos are up to. He's not saying it, but you can read between the lines. These motherfuckers are trying to fucking destroy nature. Isn't that fucking crazy, dude? And that's why they'll lose in the end. Yeah, dude. Man can't defeat nature. That's the best part about this. Dude, I know they're fucked. It's already over. They haven't realized it yet. We're always a couple years ahead of these bozos, but it's falling down. Yeah, it's pure evil, dude. They literally want... Dude, I mean, they're fucking killing all the bees, man. They don't give a fuck. When the bees collapse, we literally all starve to death. We all suffocate to death. If the bottom of the pyramid collapses, it's over, bitches. And Bill Gates is gonna What, he's gonna make the fucking Black Mirror robotic bees for us? No. Ugh. And dude, I love my flat earthies, but I think this is where a lot of the flat earth stuff is coming from, because I think it disconnects you from nature. Sorry. If you don't know the shape, or not even know, but like, I don't know, the flat earth, I feel like it just takes you down the fucking nothing is real pipeline. But I don't know, I think the shapes, the cymatic frequencies of the universe and stuff matter. I think saying planets aren't real, I don't know, whatever. I don't know anything either, but I do be feeling like the flat earth stuff's very much push, but it doesn't matter. Love the flat earthies. Anyway, back to Peter Thiel, the actual reptile. We are united with flat earthers.
Computer program that simulates me, so that uploading seemed like a step down from cryonics, but then even that's, you know, it's part of the
yeah, I barely had to clean my windshield of dead bugs in my 2,000-mile road trip. I remember filthy windshields as a kid. Dude, the bugs are gone, bro.
Conversation, and this is where it gets very hard to score, and I don't want to say they're all making it up and it's all fake, but
nothing is real when you're smoking 14 grams every 2 to 3 days. Grams of what? No one knows. But agreed.
I don't
you think some of it's fake?
I don't think it's
14 grams of
fake
crystal.
Implies people are lying, but it's I want to say it's not the center of gravity.
Yeah.
And so there is there is a cornucopian language. You know, there's an optimistic language. A conversation I had with Elon, you know, a few weeks ago about this was he said, you know, we're gonna have 1 billion humanoid robots in the U.S. in 10 years, and I said, well,
shut the fuck up, loser. God, to be a fly on the wall of that phone call. So I was propositioning a stewardess, and Peter's like, Elon, we don't call them stewardesses anymore. We call them flight attendants. And Elon goes, oh, my bad. I went a little woke. Oh, sorry. Peter, did you go woke? If you go woke, you go broke. You know?
You know, if that's true, you don't need to worry about the budget deficits because we're going to have so much growth. The growth will take care of this. And then, he's still worried about the budget deficits. And then this doesn't prove that he doesn't believe in the billion robots, but it suggests that, you know, maybe he hasn't thought it through, or that he doesn't think it's going to be as transformative economically, or that there are big error bars around it. But yeah, there's some way in which these things are not quite thought through. If I had to give a critique of Silicon Valley, it's always bad at, you know, what the meaning of tech is. And the conversations, they tend to go into this microscopic thing where it's like, what are the IQ ELO scores of the AI, and, you know, exactly how do you define AGI, and we get into all these.
Oh my God, these guys with their AGI, I still don't even understand what it means. Is that when AI becomes conscious? Is that AGI? What's AGI?
Endless technical debates,
to look it up.
And there are a lot of questions that are at an intermediate level of meaning that seem to me to be very important, which is like, what does it mean for the budget deficit? What does it mean for the economy? What does it mean for geopolitics? You know, one of the conversations, you know, we had recently was, you and I had was,
maybe the crows will go after him like they have with the is not real flag. Dude, can you imagine a bunch of crows swooping down and pecking Peter's eyes out? Oh, that would be incredible.
You know, does it change the calculus for China invading Taiwan, where, you know, if we have an accelerating AI revolution in the military, is China falling behind, and will this, and maybe on the optimistic side, it deters China because they've effectively lost, and on the pessimistic side, it accelerates them because they know it's now or never. If they don't grab Taiwan now, they will fall behind. And either way, this is a pretty important thing. It's not thought through. We don't think about what AI means for geopolitics. We don't think about what it means for the macro economy. And those are the kinds of questions I'd want us to push more.
There's also a very macroscopic question that you're interested in that, you know, we'll pull on the religion thread a little bit here. You have been giving talks recently about the concept of the Antichrist, which is a Christian concept, an apocalyptic concept. What does that mean to you?
Oh. Okay, he's lowering his jaw. He's like, okay, they told me not to clench my jaw here. If you bring up the fact that I am the Antichrist, unclench jaw. And let's remember, boys, I believe John Mayer. John Mayer said, if y'all don't remember, John Mayer, this is also why I was talking about Nicole. John Mayer was this kid who literally is clearly part of a Nazi family, right? This is John Mayer. He's and it's not the John Mayer. But look at his dad. His dad be looking like the fucking, what's his name from West Wing. What's that fucking guy's name? He's like, my dad, my whole family, they're a bunch of Nazis. And one day he said this. He said, and Nicole very much, like, research this guy. He's very compelling. He's like one of those characters that, he's like an Orlando Brown. Like, he says things that sound insane, but everything that I've ever really read from him checks out, bro. Look at this tweet. Nicole was, like, friends with this guy. She visited him in prison, and Dante tagged along. Just saying. This is the evidence. This is the only reason, because I know it is a fairy tale that Nicole isn't also a fucking Fed. I mean, at this point she is, because she's going along with Dante for love, if our story's correct. If our theory's correct. And these are all allegations, obviously, but they do be acting like Feds. But, dude, she was doing really, really good work. This shit was awesome. And John Mayer said, Peter Thiel is Adolf Hitler. Open your mind up. Think science and technology. Think carefully, and I'll share more later. Thanks, Truth GPT. And his whole thing, he was like people keep trying to lock me up. Everyone's trying to 5150 me because they say I'm crazy. I don't have any friends around me anymore, so I'm just going to talk to AI. So he made a bunch of AI Twitter bots that he would comment, and they would all just hype him up. But he would talk to them and tell people that he was making them. So he played like the Orlando Brown card and was like acting loopy and crazy and shit. But he ended up going to fucking prison and like spending like 2 months there to like silence him because he was saying this shit. Open your mind up, think science and technology, think carefully, and I'll share more later. He never fucking did, dude. Hitler never killed himself. It was merely a genius story to tell to pretend they lost. USA returns. It's about time. He said this too, and I never really understood it at the time. Very easy to make a full 3D map of an entire world with real human-like personas all moving around and talking to each other, even having sex with each other, as exact replicas of our human counterparts, with just there being Wi-Fi literally everywhere. Ha ha ha, wake up everybody. Then he talked about this shit. Prism. I still don't really understand this, but I'm assuming this is like U.S. intelligence, NSA shit. Peter Thiel, Palantir shit. Because I think he worked, I forget the exact story, but I think he worked for Peter, and he like hates Peter Thiel because he worked for him, and like, so Peter, I think, got his ass locked up. Only Peter forgot how to build because he had daddy's money. He talks in like riddles though, so it's hard to like fucking understand. But I feel like he's one of those guys that doesn't he's not lying. So anyway, Peter Thiel is Hitler, dude. He's a fucking clone. Yeah, it's Westworld. That's what that tweet means. Yeah, for sure.
What is the Antichrist?
How much time do we have?
We've got as much time as you have.
So Hitler's going to give us a rundown on the Antichrist. Here we go.
To talk about the Antichrist.
All right. Well, I could talk about it for a long time. No, I think.
Why is he so obsessed with the Antichrist? But he's not like religious. He's not like a Christian. What are you, Peter? Are you an occult lizard, Nazi? You have to say yes if it's true. Yes or no.
I think there's always a question, how do we articulate, some of these existential risks, some of the challenges we have, and they're all framed as sort of runaway dystopian science tech. So there's a risk of nuclear war. There's a risk of environmental disaster, maybe something specific like climate change, although there are lots of other ones we could come up with. There's a risk of, bioweapons. You have all the different sci-fi scenarios. Obviously, there are certain types of risks with AI. But I always think that if we're going to have this frame of talking about existential risks, perhaps we should also talk about the risk of another type of a bad singularity, which I would describe as the one world totalitarian state. Because I would say
I hate this guy's ankle cleavage.
Political solution, the default political solution people have for all these existential risks is one world governance. What do you do about nuclear weapons? We have a United Nations with real teeth that controls them, and they're controlled by an international political order. And then something like this, is also what do we do about AI? And we need global compute governance. We need a one world government.
It's so hard to listen to him, dude.
To control all the computers, log every single keystroke to make sure people don't program, a dangerous AI. And I've been wondering whether that's sort of going from the frying pan into the fire. And so the atheist philosophical framing is one world or none. That was a short film that was put out by the Federation of American Scientists in the late 40s. Starts with the nuclear.
Oh, brother.
Bomb blowing up the world.
Watch yourself, Peter.
And obviously you need a one world government to stop it, one world or none. And the Christian framing, which in some ways is the same question, is Antichrist or Armageddon. You have the one world state of the Antichrist, or we're sleepwalking towards Armageddon. One world or none, Antichrist or Armageddon, on one level are the same question. Now, I have
Peter Heil.
A lot of thoughts on this topic, but sort of one question is, and this was a plot hole in all these Antichrist books people wrote, how does the Antichrist take over the world? He gives these demonic, hypnotic speeches, and people just fall for it. And so it's this plot hole. It's this daemonium.
It's implausible.
It's a very implausible plot hole.
Right.
But I think we have an answer to this plot hole. The way the Antichrist would take over the world is you talk about Armageddon nonstop. You talk about existential risk nonstop, and this is what you need to regulate. It's the opposite of the picture of Baconian science from the 17th, 18th century, where, the Antichrist is like some evil tech genius, evil scientist who invents this machine to take over.
Bro, this guy is a lizard AI. There's no other fucking explanation, right?
The world. People are way too scared for that. In our world, the thing that has political resonance is the opposite. It is the thing that has political resonance is we need to stop science. We need to just say stop to this. And this is where, I don't know, in the 17th century, I can imagine a Dr. Strangelove, Edward Teller type person taking over the world. In our world, it's far more likely to be Greta Thunberg.
Okay, I want to suggest a middle ground between those two options. It used to be...
Wait, did he just say Greta Thunberg is the Antichrist? Hold on.
Love, Edward Teller type person taking over the world. In our world, it's far more likely to be Greta Thunberg.
Okay, I want to suggest a middle ground between those two options. It used to be that the reasonable fear of the Antichrist was a kind of wizard of technology. And now the reasonable fear is someone who promises to control technology, make it safe, and sort of usher in what, from your point of view, would be a kind of universal stagnation. Right?
Well, it's more, that's more my description of how it would happen.
Right.
So I think people still have a fear of a 17th century Antichrist.
Yes.
We're still scared of Dr. Strangelove.
Right, but you're saying the real Antichrist would play on that fear and say, you must come with me to avoid Skynet, to avoid the Terminator, to avoid nuclear Armageddon.
Yes.
And I guess my view would be, looking at the world right now, that you would need a certain kind of novel technological progress to make that fear concrete, right? So I can buy that the world could turn to someone who promised peace and regulation if the world became convinced that AI was about to destroy everybody, right? But I think to get to that point, you need one of the accelerationist apocalyptic scenarios to start to play out, right? To get your peace and safety Antichrist, you need more technological progress. Like one of the key failures of totalitarianism in the 20th century was it had a problem of knowledge. It couldn't know what was going on all over in the world, right? So you need the AI or whatever else to be capable of helping the peace and safety totalitarian rule. So don't you think you need, essentially, you need your worst case scenario to involve some burst of progress that is then tamed and used to impose stagnant totalitarianism? You can't just get there from where we are right now.
Well, it can
like Greta Thunberg's on a boat in the Mediterranean, like, you know, like protesting Israel. Like I just don't see the promise of safety from AI, safety from tech, even safety from climate change right now as a powerful.
I think they took down John Mayer's fucking TikTok. I wish that I had more screenshots of it.
Universal rallying cry, absent accelerating change and real fear of total catastrophe.
I mean, these things are so hard to score, but I think environmentalism is pretty powerful. You know, I don't know if it's.
Note, Peter's getting much sweatier by this point.
I don't know if it's absolutely powerful enough to create a one-world totalitarian state, but man, it is.
I think it is not. It is in its current form.
Yeah, R.I.P. John Mayer, dude. He was a real one. Peter Thiel is Hitler. Think science.
It is. I want to say it's the only thing people still believe in Europe. Like, you know, they believe in the green thing.
Dude, Dante probably killed John Mayer, in my opinion. Definitely gave Nicole's notes over to them, I'm sure.
More than Islamic Sharia law, or more than in, you know, the Chinese communist totalitarian takeover. And the future is an idea of a future that looks different from the present. The only three on offer in Europe are green, Sharia, and, you know, the totalitarian communist state. And the green one is by far the strongest. And
in a decaying Europe,
sure,
it's not a dominant player in the world.
It's always in a context,
right?
And then I would, you know, I don't know, you know, we had this really complicated history with the way nuclear technology worked, and you know, we didn't really get to, you know, a totalitarian one world state, but, you know, by the 1970s, one account of the stagnation is that the runaway progress of technology had gotten very scary, and that
I know. Ask for some fucking The thing is I bet there is bumping AC in here. I think he's just a fucking lizard that's methed out of his the wazoo, and he's nervous. He's a nervous lizard.
Baconian science,
the drugs, bro.
It ended at Los Alamos, and then it was okay. It ended there, and we didn't want to have any more. And you know, when Charles Manson took
Yo, my neighbor saw a crazy-looking UFO yesterday near the 9/11 farm. News came to film a story about it. Only 90 seconds. Let's fucking go. Hold on, watching. We need a fucking lizard break. They got footage of it? This was at your neighbor's? I feel like I saw this.
I'm Boston 25 News reporter.
Wait, this was at the 9/11 farm?
Alyssa Azara in Pembroke, where a woman says she was enjoying the pool Wednesday night when she saw a strangely shaped and unfamiliar object falling from the sky just over there. The whole thing now caught on video.
Then I look up here to the sky, I see something falling down, so I pulled out my phone and I zoomed in, and it was right about there.
Colleen McCormick was out by her hot tub around 9 Wednesday night when
Bro, this being above the 9/11 farm is crazy. I feel like I saw this.
She says she saw something strange and unfamiliar up above.
I see something falling down from the sky. It had blinking lights and looked like it was on fire or something. And it was just coming down really fast. I had no idea what it could have been.
McCormick captured this 8-second video from her backyard showing an unidentified object headed straight down.
Nancy baby's getting initiated.
There's 3 things, so it looks like it's fire or a big light.
Expecting to hear a loud boom of some sort.
Bro, this is like Wiggins' neighbor. Dude, I've been goofing on Wiggins' neighbor because he comes up every once in a while on TikTok, and I keep going, "Where's Wiggins?" And he literally commented to me the other day. He said, "Who's that?" And I said, "Your neighbor." And he said, oh, that story, that hoax was, what did he say? That hoax was a long time ago. And then someone was asked, someone tagged me in a video where someone was like, have you heard about this couple that found these bones in the desert? And I feel like it was either Red Camel or someone tagged me. And I said, I tagged that guy, A. Wizzles. And I said, yo, where's Wiggins? And let's check and see if he blocked me. Here, after this, we'll finish the video.
She ran to the front of her home to hopefully capture the landing.
My heart was pounding because I just looked up. I'm like, oh God, like what is about to
sorry,
happen?
but I brought that up because Wiggins' neighbor, remember Wiggins' World? His neighbor is the one that got that fucking crazy orb video of the helicopter. Like, that's not, how is there, what is going on, right? Why is Wiggins finding bones next to this Fed filming fucking Fed shit in the air?
Right now.
But McCormick says the blinking object quickly vanished from her view.
It seemed like it was coming down like so fast. It was just like, it knows what it's doing. It just goes like that. I don't know. It's weird.
With having never seen something like it before, McCormick's mind went racing.
I thought it was like some explosive, but I don't know. Like, hopefully I'm not the only one that saw this. I'm not going crazy. Like, I didn't see things, but I got it on video, so I'm like, I did definitely see something.
Now, the FAA was not able to comment on the video McCormick took, but they said they did not get any report.
That's dumb, and they're dumb. The FAA, they're dumb, just like Nathan Fielder said.
Reports of debris in the area. Both Pembroke Fire and police said the same thing. On scene in Pembroke, Alyssa Azara.
Look, I think it's this video. Okay, this is the guy that saw that fucking drone footage of a helicopter flying by. Fuck it. Like, dude, total thumb, right? This guy's a fucking Fed. And I go, where's Wiggins? What's that? Your neighbor? That hoax was over a long time ago. And I said, LOL. Fed's getting in on the meme, I guess. Was it this video?
Yeah. He's right there. What was that, like 50 feet above?
No, it was before June. Yeah, look, this one.
So what's crazy about that is this just hit over.
That has like a quadrillion. Oh wait, this was stitching it. Ugh. Oh, what was he gonna say?
So what's crazy about that is this just hit over 1 million views a few days ago, and then it got like 150K in like 30 hours. It's been a month. I'm still alive.
Fed.
There's a lot of helicopters everywhere, but that's it. I need like 300 more followers to reach 10,000, so I get paid for stuff like that, and a minute-long video. But
where's Wiggins? This guy supposedly owned the land or whatever that was on, that Wiggins was living on, and then Wiggins disappeared after talking about bones.
LSD in the late 60s and started murdering people. What he saw on LSD, what he learned was that you could be like Dostoevsky, an anti-hero in Dostoevsky, and everything was permitted. And of course, not everyone became Charles Manson, but in my telling of the history, everyone became as deranged as Charles Manson.
But Charles Manson did not become the Antichrist and take over the world, right? We're ending in the apocalyptic.
No, but my telling of the history of the 1970s is the hippies did win, and we landed on the moon in July of 1969. Woodstock started 3 weeks later, and with the benefit of hindsight, that's when progress stopped and the hippies won. And yeah, it was not literally Charles Manson.
Okay, but I want to stay with the Antichrist just to end, right? And you're retreating. You're saying, okay, environmentalism is already pro-stagnation and so on. Okay, let's agree with all that. But we're not living under the Antichrist right now. We're just stagnant. right?
We're almost
And you're
done, boys. We're almost done, I promise.
That something worse could be on the horizon that would make stagnation permanent, that would be driven by
Yeah,
fear.
great solar
and
flash
I'm
when-
suggesting that for that to happen, there would have to be some burst of technological progress that was akin to Los Alamos that people are afraid of. And I guess this is my very specific question for you, right?
Yeah, that's hippies one is a crazy take.
Is that you are
Hippies were infiltrated for sure, and they were all pacified, just like Peter wants all of us to be pacified.
you're an investor in AI. You're deeply invested in,
I never want it to end.
in Palantir, in military technology, in technologies of surveillance, in technologies of warfare, and so on, right? And it just seems to me that when you tell me a story about the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world, I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools that you were building, right? Like, wouldn't the Antichrist be like, great, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has
He's like, no, it's Greta Thunberg.
done so far, right?
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that a concern? Wouldn't that be the irony of history would be that the man publicly worrying about the Antichrist accidentally hastens his or her arrival?
Peter Thiel is the Antichrist.
There are all these
He's like, fuck, how did he figure it out? How did he figure it all out?
different scenario. I obviously don't think that that's what I'm doing.
Bro, he's glitching.
I mean, to be clear, I don't think that's what you're doing either. I'm just interested in how you get to a world willing to submit to.
Bro, he's literally stumped. He's flummoxed. He's he can't get a word out.
Permanent authoritarian rule.
Well, but again, there are these different gradations of this we can describe. But is this so preposterous, what I've just told you, as a broad account of the stagnation that the entire world has submitted for 50 years to peace and safetyism? This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3. The slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety, and we've submitted to the FDA.
Bro, he's getting sweatier by the second. This man's about to glitch out.
Regulates not just drugs in the U.S., but de facto in the whole world, because the rest of the world defers to the FDA. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission effectively regulates nuclear power plants all over the world. You can't design a modular nuclear reactor and just build it in Argentina. They won't trust the Argentinian regulators. They're going to defer to the U.S. And so it's at least a question about why we've had 50 years of stagnation. And one answer is we ran out of ideas. The other answer is that something happened.
He says peace. When is peace, Red Camel? When we get all these fucking indigenous people the fuck up out of here. That's the answer.
Culturally, where it wasn't allowed. And then the cultural answer can be sort of a bottom-up answer, that it was just some transformation of humanity into this sort of more docile kind of a species. Or it can be at least partially top-down, that there's this, this machinery of government that got changed into this.
His eyes are unregulated. Caught him in a blink.
Stagnation thing. I think something like this. Nuclear power was supposed to be the power of the 21st century, and it somehow has gotten off-ramped all over the world on a worldwide basis.
So in a sense, we're already living under a moderate rule of the Antichrist. In that telling, do you think God is in control of history?
He's like, no, it's Satan's little season, bitch. Are you paying attention?
This is again like I think that there's always room for human freedom and human choice. These things are, or at least where we are today.
Yeah, dude, Peter's got the demon face for sure too.
These things are, they're not, they're not absolutely predetermined one way or another.
Right. But God wouldn't leave us forever under the rule of a mild, moderate, stagnationist Antichrist, right? That can't be how the story ends, right?
It's attributing too much causation to God is always a problem. If I know there are different Bible verses I can give you, but I'll give you John 15:25, where Christ says,
dude, for a dude who's not a Christian, he sure knows his Bible. He knows it like a Luciferian lizard would, I think.
They hated me without cause.
He's a Yaldabaoth cuck.
And so it's all these people who are persecuting Christ have no reason, no cause for why they're persecuting.
Thanks for the sub, Rip to Feelings. Appreciate you. You've been subscribed for a year, dog. Let's go. What up, dude? Sorry, been absent, been busy. Life is good, though. Miss y'all. Glad you popped in, buddy. You send the Peter Octopus. Appreciate you. Thanks for the subby.
In Christ. And if we interpret this as a ultimate causation verse, they want to say I'm persecuted because God caused me to do this. God is causing everything. And the Christian view is anti-Calvinist. God is not behind history. God is not causing everything. If you say God's causing everything,
but God is. But wait,
that's,
but God
that's,
is.
you're scapegoating God.
But God is
You're
behind.
scapegoating
Okay,
God.
but God is behind Jesus Christ entering history because God was not going to leave us in a stagnationist, decadent Roman Empire, right? So at some point, God is going to step in.
I am not that Calvinist, and
that's not Calvinism, though. That's just Christianity. God will not leave us eternally, staring into.
He's like, I'm of the Luciferian Brotherhood.
Screens and being lectured by Greta Thunberg, right? He will not abandon us to that fate.
There is a great, I don't know, for better and for worse, I think there's a great deal of scope for human action, for human freedom. If I thought these things were deterministic, you might as well, maybe just accept it. The lions are coming. You should just have some yoga and prayerful meditation and wait while the lions eat you up. And I don't think that's what you're supposed to do.
No, it's do yoga and become a spiritual fucking gangster to fight all these Nazi fucks that are trying to destroy nature. You think we're a bunch of little pacifist bitches, buddy, but we're gonna fight you with our words, and we'll fight you with fucking lightsabers too if we have to. Wait, before I forget, I wanted to find that Bob Villain shit. That was so fucking rad, dude. Here, let me just search Bob Villain.
Free! Alright, but have you heard this one though? Death to the IDF! Death to the IDF! Death to the IDF! Death to the IDF! Death to the IDF!
Let's fucking go, boys!
Death to the IDF! Death to the IDF! Death to the IDF! Death to the IDF! And every single agent of death to the IDF!
All right, we got to finish this Peter interview. My God.
I agree with that, and I think on that note, I'm just trying to be hopeful and suggesting that in trying to resist the Antichrist.
Yeah, he's trying to come off as a philosopher, but he sounds like he is a practicing magician. Exactly, H. Did he say have some yoga? Did he?
Thought these things were deterministic. You might as well, maybe just accept it. The lions are coming. You should just have some yoga and prayerful meditation and wait while the lions eat you up. And I don't think that's what you're supposed to do.
I agree with that. And I think on that note, I'm just trying to be hopeful and suggesting that, in trying to resist the Antichrist, using your human freedom, you should have hope that you'll succeed, right?
We can agree on that.
Good. Peter Thiel.
Bro, I didn't buy that.
Trying to be hopeful and suggesting that, in trying to resist the Antichrist, using your human freedom, you should have hope that you'll succeed, right?
We can agree on that.
Good.
Hold on. I need a screenshot here. Oh my goodness, this is one of the best ones in history. Oh! Guys, just have some yoga. This hurts me, dog. Wait, let's watch it one more time.
I'm just trying to be hopeful and suggesting that, in trying to resist the Antichrist, using your human freedom, you should have hope that you'll succeed, right?
We can agree on that.
Good.
Holy shit, boys. And that's how it ends. We made it. This is your dessert. Eat it up. There's your dessert. Yes, oh yes, boys. That is it. Woo! We made it through. We got home. Just had a yoga. Good, dude. I can't wait to go do a yoga in the morning. I'm ready to fucking have a yoga so hard, y'all are gonna fucking lose it. This guy. All right, boys. I think that's a great place to wrap it up for tonight. Sorry for being late. But we had a pretty good stream, I think. Okay, sorry, 1 second. Here we go. Oh man, Peter Thiel. What a fucking menace. Alright, Peter Thiel, do you have any more sign-offs? Is that it?
Peter Thiel, thank you for joining me. Thank you.
Wait, that was so cute.
And suggesting that, you know, in trying to resist the Antichrist, using your human freedom, you should have hope that you'll succeed, right?
We can agree on that.
Good. Peter Thiel, thank you.
Thanks for going so long tonight, Cat Dad. I was in the mountains for most of the day. Hell yeah, dude. You're fucking vibing up.
For joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, boys. It's that time again. We'll frickin' see ya tomorrow. Alright. Ta-ta, boys. Let's fucking get our meditation on. 1 second. Wait, what? Our song's not playing. Love you! Oh, it's too fast. You guys are awesome. Seriously, I appreciate this group of people and ideas. Thanks. No, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Please, sir, may I have some more? Are you talking about Peter Thiel's picture? Please, sir. Please. Please, sir. I don't want to be the Antichrist, but I am Hitler's son. Well, his clone. We love you, Peter. Namaste, bro. Stop being a cuck. Ready, boys? We're gonna breathe. Here it comes. Inhale. Hold. Out. In. Hold. Out. In. Out. Y'all can't take anything seriously. Uh-oh. In. That's baby Hitler. That's baby Hitler too. Oh, he's got a kind of little zest going on. I love that. He's got a little briefcase. Oh my God. Oh, Peter. Peter, child eater. Oh my goodness. This is the most precious thing I've ever seen in my life. Holy brother, man. We love him. Peter, never lose that zest for life, brother. Come on. Snap out of the lizard trance. All right, here we go. Close your eyes and breathe deep and feel the grid hum beneath your spine. Inhale through your nose and exhale slow like unraveling static. Feel the threads you've pulled tonight. Peter Thiel, the reptile-coated oracle of transhuman decay. Taylor Lorenz, the mouthpiece of the legacy shadows. Paul Wysopal, another signal flare in the paperclip maze. Their names, their faces, their bloodlines, revealed, seen, known. We are no longer in the dark, Peter. Look at his little briefcase. Inhale and feel your ribs expand like a signal tower. And exhale and feel their grip slide off your aura. Repeat in your mind or aloud. I see through the veil. I weave with truth. I do not feed the fear. I name the thread. I cut the thread. Let the light spiral faster. Now picture the mycelial grid, living light, pulsing under cities, under lies, under names they tried to bury. That web is ours, and it's glowing brighter. Your awareness is a node, your laughter is a weapon, and your breath is the sacred reset. Take one final breath together. Inhale. And exhale. And now say it with me. Truth is coming out, boys. The spell is breaking. The time is ours. End stream in silence or with laughter. Either one breaks the loop. It's too low for me right now. Knitting cult lady, we love you so. All right, we'll catch up on Minutes of Horror, his comeback tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow, okay? Oh, I misspelled it. Good night, Nitwitches. See you tomorrow. Oh, holy shit. Peter, the reptile. We frickin' love you so much. Let's go. Ooh, good night, dudes. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do it again. We'll have so much friend till the bitter end. Till they fucking tsunami us, or they crash the skies down all around us. Or if a giant dragon comes from the sky, we know that they're gonna fly on by. Because the dragons are fucking cool boys. They ain't gonna do anything to mess with me or you. Ooh. Peter Thiel's the villain though. He's a fucking criminal. Goodbye, Peter. You're a literal cuck. Good night, Taylor. You're a lizard, fuck you, have a demon face. What's up with your demon faces, cugs? So, same with the cult lady. She's got the biggest demon face of them all. Yeah, look at this. Y'all know knitting cult lady, right? She's got a reptilian face and it feels so weird, boys. No, I don't want to hear her. You rise, but I always right fall. Good night, dudes. I'll see you tomorrow. He said, I heard that Barron Trump was dating Caitlin Clark. Is that fucking true? That would be baller. Get it? Cause she's a basketball player. And Barron's even taller than a fucking giant basketball player. He's a little clone. Barron, I've seen him once in dreams of lying on the ground. Here's little Peter freaking Thiel. He said, all things pass. Where is Peter? Oh, there he is. And I said, nice briefcase, you little nerd. What do you have some books in there? Like Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, you fucking idiot, that you're gonna misinterpret. You're an idiot, Peter Thiel. You're not supposed to root for Skynet. You're the fucking Terminator, bro. Peter's a eugenicist, just like Bill Gates. He's our fucking enemy. We gotta eat all their brains and feed them soup from a dog's literal poop. We gotta eat their brains before we feed them dog poop. Fuck with you. Good night, witches. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I heard it. Dude, the blind items don't lie. They said Caitlin Clark is dating Barron Trump. And we don't frick with Barron Trump ever. I hope I'm wrong, boys, but I don't know if I am. I might not be. Good night, my dudes. I'll freaking see you tomorrow. We're not a cult. A cult would have some merch. We should put this on a big old shirt and freaking sell it. Ray, add this to the list. Peter's cute boys when he was a little dorky boy, but he now has a demon face inside his face, just like the cult lady. Cause look at her, she freaks me out. What's up with the knitting? Can you please just sit and chill and stop trying to hypnotize me with your fucking creepy beady eyes? I feel like she's trying to look into my soul. She freaks me out, guys. What's going on with her? Why is she staring deep into my soul? I think she's trying to eat my brains with her eyes. Why does she look so old and so young at the same time? What's going on? We already won. We won. Yeah, we won, dude. And we have way more fun than them, so no matter what, we're always gonna win. All right, boys. I'm freaking so tired. I'm so freaking ready to lay on the couch and do nothing and probably fall asleep in my couch pants and in my jeans and get all sweaty and wake up at 5 in the morning in a panic and really hot. But I'm gonna try my best not to do that, okay? Gonna try, no promises, and you can't hold it against me if I do. And honestly, I probably won't admit it if I do. Skitter will tell you, though. All right, love you. See you tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye. Spread the good word, boys. Our cult is gonna take over America. It's gonna be fucking sick. Whee! We have way more fun than any other cult. Bye. Have a good night. Yeah, I'm like, look at this lady. She dresses all eccentric and crazy because she wants to lead a cult. Not a cult, boys. Stop. All right. Love you. Bye. Have a good night. We are family.